Hello, people. Okay, why can I not hear you guys on the stream? That is not good. 1 second. No. It should be working. Ah, that's because I changed shit. Default. Speak, or forever holdest thou peace. Nope, has not worked. Shit. Why is that not working? Oh crap. Wonder if that's the reason why. Right roll. Oh no, here we go. I found you. I had to... What is that noise coming through there?
What is that noise beyond window break?
Oh, it's you. Holy crap. Bring the noise down. Speak again, please, sir.
Is that me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Hello, people. Yep, here we go. Chat. Is anyone there? Hello, Drax. Yes, I look a little different. I think I've done something with my hair. Divinity Rose, thank you for joining us. Welcome. We just do be with us for just one moment. I have done a reset on all my streaming stuff, so at the moment we've just had a couple of issues, just a couple. So I'm just sorting out a couple of audio things, and we should be awesome again, hopefully. We've got Desperate Audio 2, change that to disabled, play, and we should be good. Smoky Acrylic, what's up? So yes, so tonight, so I've just reset the whole stream thing. As you can see, I've got a pretty new face. We are reorganising some bits and pieces, but we're getting everything sorted from this end. One thing I wanted to do before we get started is Miss Blue Jay. I know you are here because you're always here. If you would like to type something in the chat for me, there we go. Congratulations, Blue Jay. You are now moderator in the chat. So you have the ability to kick and ban and all that sort of stuff, all that cool stuff. But also you have the ability to answer any questions from the chat while we're playing. As of tonight's episode, I will no longer have the chat up on screen, so I will not be able to see the chat. But mods, so your guys' job will be to, if anyone comes in, greet them, answer any questions, and then like I said, I'll bring the chat up again during our break. We do our 5-minute break around sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'll bring the chat back up and we'll answer some questions or anything like that. So yeah, so mods, again, thank you very much for your help as usual. I know there's quite a few of you in here. Most of them are playing this evening. But yeah, so we appreciate it very much. As you can see, I've made a little bit of a change to the hype spam. I've also made a little bit of a change to the Nat 1 and the Nat 20 on my end. Those of you that are not subs to the channel, you can still use the Nat 1, Nat 20 emotes using your channel points or the gold at the bottom of the chat. You're able to unlock an emote with an X amount of gold. If we get a natural 1 or a natural 20 during the show, all the subs out there spam your Nat 1s and Nat 20s to commemorate the critical fail or the critical success. And there has been a few recently. The last episode we had a number of both fails and successes. We'll probably see the same again tonight. If you're wanting to check out the players and their stats, the D&D Beyond extension is enabled. You can see their current HP and everything else. It looks like it has not renewed from last time, which is kind of weird because it still says that Trashman is frightened, so it maybe has not updated his shit.
Evil.
I can't hear you.
You've currently got it set as Tomb of Whores.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, that's the best.
Tomb of Paws.
Awkward. That
Tomb of Whores. Well, that
It's
kind
not
of
a
works,
lie.
doesn't it?
It's not a lie.
The Tomb of Whores. That works for me.
Just thought I'd better tell you that before we start.
The Tomb of Horrors.
Leave it.
I'll leave it. I mean, I'll change that. We might get in trouble for that.
Or get more views. Either way.
Tomb of Horrors. Right, with Tomb of Horrors now, part 3. Error.
Get over 1 million views.
Yeah, error. Danger, Will Robinson.
Finest role play.
We've got to play up to it, guys.
Yeah, Drax, Tomb of Horrors, you're in the right place.
I'm about to take my clothes off.
So so we're getting into part 3 of the tomb. So the lions have been in the tomb now for 2 days, and will they make it out? I mean, how far in the tomb have they gotten? I mean, they don't know. So with that, I will shut down the chat. Mods, do your thing, and we will be back. And I will start the introduction to the next episode. Right, turn my sound effects on for the viewers. Hopefully that all works. Give me one moment while we wait for music to kick in. Oh, that one, I need to fix that too, because I changed the bloody main default shit back. I was having some sound issues today when I was playing a game with Trash, and I had to alter everything, and I forgot to reset all this stuff. Give me 1 second, people. Well, more like 30 seconds. Right. This should work, hopefully. There we go. So, team, after entering the newly found painted corridor, which seems to have a series of two-dimensional orbs running down both walls at differing heights across the corridor, it decided to investigate and a little bit more closely, and found that the orbs definitely two-dimensional in nature, seeming illusionary as well, not part of the wall as such. Sadiq the kind, kind ass, as Alessandros called him, then suggests that Ellie check the area and shoves her into the room, looking for traps. Seemingly not finding anything, Inari then decides, hey, let's go touch this golden orb over here. And upon touching it and pressing forward to try and find some sort of physical thing, finds herself stumbling forward and through an illusionary wall, finding a crawl space leading to a small room which seems to house yet another of these large mutant gargoyles. This one, however, did not animate upon entrance to the room. Also had one arm missing. This creature had indentations within its hands which looked like something could be placed. After some discussion, Fiona decides, hey, let's try one of the gems from the collar. Places it in its hand, and it's crushed to dust and tipped onto the floor. Inari suggests that, hey, maybe we should keep this dust, and it is scooped up and collected in a little cloth pouch and hidden away for later. After a little while, Sadiq decides, well, there's probably not much here, so we'll move back to the main corridor and check out some more of these orbs. He decides to look for orbs at more of a lower level than the higher level, scans down one wall, back up the other, finally coming to a black orb, which seems to have revealed yet another crawl space, leading to possibly another room. After a round of parchment, shears and flint, Alessandros finds herself inside the long dark corridor after losing this game of chance. After what seemed like 20 or so minutes, 25 minutes, Alessandros reaches a temple of sorts, although somewhat darker than what would normally be depicted on the walls. More of these paintings, people undead or dying, but also some religious symbols that she recognized. Deciding that she, after a little brief conversation with Sadiq, that she should probably investigate and have a look, searched the room, found several pews, a large ornate chair and some large urns. Investigating the pews, the first couple revealing nothing much than storage items and books. The last pew she checked, however, with larger hinges, it appeared sprayed what she deemed possibly noxious gas into the room. Not sticking around to see what it was or if it was indeed dangerous, she retreats back to the safety of the painted passage. Returning to Sadiq, she lets everyone know what she found and potentially the danger that lies within. After a bit of a chat, you all decide that before moving forward, it might be prudent to rest for an evening. You have been in the tomb several hours, and you are all feeling a little spent after a few encounters. While resting, reasonably uneventful evening, Het wakes early and decides to have a chat with Fiala. After a short, reasonably serious chat, they decide to play a prank on Alessandros. Fiala transforms into the infamous beaver. Het places said beaver in his mouth, gently stroking its fur with his tongue. Right before this happens, Fiala screams, "Help, help," in the earring of whispering, waking everybody. Alessandros wakes with a start, lighting his rapier with his flame ability. Anari, waking up, not seeing Fiala, seeing the beaver in Het's mouth, reaches out instinctively and tries to snatch Fiala from the jaws of death. After a little bit of a struggle, Het releases Fiala, not wanting to harm her. Azari falls back, Fiala almost transforming instantly, landing on top of her, causing a little bit of damage, not too much. And after revealing that it was all a big joke and a little bit of a chuckle with all, it was decided, and of course the roll of a 9 on a d6 from Anari, was decided that hey, maybe it's time to return to the temple. Anari not the only one falling culprit to a impossible roll. Fiala also rolling a 17 on a d6. I don't know where these ladies are getting their rolls from, or their dice from, but those are pretty impressive d6 rolls. With that, you guys then return to the temple via the corridor, Alessandros leading the way, finding that the vapor had dissipated during the course of your evening sleep. You then sort of investigate around the room. You do find the 2 urns either side of the ornate chair, and indeed the paintings along the wall. The other pews undisturbed. Alessandros informing you that the front pew was trapped, and potentially the other one was, which you'd soon discovered it was. A failed attempt to disarm it. We just sort of left it alone. We discovered another small archway with another room filled with some strange orange vapor. It was decided that Kalek, the imp of Het, was to go and investigate. Went and stood in the room for a little bit of time and nothing seemed to happen. After that, your attention was turned to the urns either side of this ornate, seemingly uninteresting chair. The first one was uncorked with a little bit of ingenuity from a flaming sword and melting wax, and toppled over with Sadiq suggesting tying a rope around its top. It hit the floor with a heavy thud, spilling its contents, which seemed to be a pile of silver coins. Upon investigation, you discovered that the other one was also stopped up, this time with a beaten copper stopper, but once again, with a little bit of blacksmithing know-how and a little bit of help from Alessandros, you unstopped this one and also toppled it over, revealing its contents to be gems and gold coins. From there, after a little bit of time talking backwards and forwards about how much of these precious gems and coins you could carry, Fiala, seemingly obsessed with gold, running gold through her fingers and sort of dreaming of swimming through piles of gold, suddenly the gold dissipates into nothing but dust and ash in her hands. Looking around, the same has happened to the silver coins, all but one remains. Het, not wanting to have anything to do with the coins, sort of standing around, looking around awkwardly, discovers, purely by accident, a small slot in the western wall, which seemed about the same size as maybe a coin or a disc-shaped gem. Deciding to take the final silver coin from the ground and placing it into this slot, a secret wall / door was revealed, opening into another corridor. From there, you proceeded forward down a set of stairs, moving deeper into the tomb. You come to a doorway down a long corridor. Alessandros, asserting her thieves skills, checks the door for traps, doesn't find anything. Opens the door. It opened inward. She looking in the room, doesn't seem to be not much there in the next room, which is another small room with another door at the other end. Investigating for traps, and indeed finds one, by tripping it, of course. Once again, falling into a pit trap. This time avoiding damage from a ring of featherfall and just missing the spikes at the bottom. Repeated searches in the next room led to another tripping of another trap. Again, avoiding damage, but this time falling into the bottom of the pitfall, finding a couple of corpses. One which was goblinoid in nature, finding Alessandros discovered a diary, asking that this ring be returned to the owner's wife in Voland. The third door opened. This time, Sadiq's rope stops Ellie from falling into an acid trap. This time, which could have been potentially fatal. Teetering on the edge, she notices a hidden door on the southern wall open as the trap is tripped. You all cross over the pit trap into this hallway. Het, entering in with the last of his detect magic spell, notices a faint aura of magic on one of the walls. After a little discussion, you realize that you probably don't have the skills at this point to be able to reveal what potentially is there, or if anything's there at all. Venturing forward, yet down another set of stairs, you come to a corridor with another door leading south, but something seems to grip most of the party. All except Sadiq have become fearful and just frightened of something. Anari flees the area completely, leaving the room. Fiala and Alessandros also try and flee, but without much success. But after a time, you sort of leave the lower part of this corridor, and the effects seem to wear off somewhat. Not completely, but enough to have you proceed forward once again, after again investigating and finding nothing really of any kind of interest. Seems these effects, either with Sadiq not being affected by them, cannot be affected by them, or the rest of you being affected are not affected again. Investigating the door, found it to be locked. Alessandros was able to pick this lock with relative ease. You proceeded to open the door and find a thick webbing blocking your entrance. Alessandros, removing her rapier, speaking the magic word, lighting it up, was able to cut through with her flaming sword. Upon entering the room, you found it to be dusty and old, covered in cobwebs, rotting furniture across the room, old tapestries on the wall, an old rotting golden couch on the far end with a skeleton wearing a crown or and robes, tattered robes, but a golden crown laden with gems. On the floor between you and him, a iron mace inlaid with silver. You move in to investigate further, and this is where we rejoin the Lions and episode 42 of our story, with you now in the room. Again, just to reiterate, on the floor now, Sadiq and Fiala are now closest to the golden couch, laid out as if relaxing on a summer's day, is a skeletal figure wearing a somewhat tarnished golden crown, but it's got a number of different coloured gems across the top of it and the peaks of the crown. He has what looked to have been at some point very noble robes, are very tattered and moth-eaten. Between Sadiq and Alessandros, Het had remained back towards the door, as did Alessandros. Anari was sort of in between them to one side. On the ground between you all is a very large, not large, it's probably a single-handed iron mace, but it's inlaid with very intricate silver inlay, almost like a filigree up the handle and across and around parts of the head of the mace. I think where we left off, Fiala had been told, do not touch the crown. She was seemingly a little obsessed with it, but had been told or asked not to touch it. So we'll pick up there.
I'm thinking told, wasn't it?
Anything is possible.
Okay.
Wasn't it something along the lines of
Speak up.
cut your hands off?
No.
No, Het promised to make her a crown when they got out of there.
Yeah. All right. I am reaching to touch it, but I don't. I don't touch it.
You don't.
Just.
So you don't touch it? You just sort of reach out and stop yourself?
Oh, no.
Okay. So what is everyone else doing at this point? So we'll go around the home. We'll go around in order. So Alessandros, what are you doing at this point?
Het, do you have any more detect magic spells available?
Yes, I can detect magic, if you wish.
Just to get a lay of the room, see if there's anything magical or otherwise.
I shall hold my symbol of the Iron Lady up, the Steel Lady, and say a few words to her to see what magic is around us as I cast Detect Magic.
And as you cast Detect Magic, you take the time it needs. The cast
I
is
cast
made.
it as an instant spell.
Oh, instant spell this time?
Yes.
Okie dokie. You cast it as an instant spell, and you glance around the room. The usual things light up on your companions and yourself. But this time, as you glance across the figure lying on the couch, his crown emanates a faint magical aura, as does the mace lying on the floor.
There is, unfortunately, no magical items in this room. It's other than our goods. Het looks over to Sadiq and winks twice.
So you walk over to Sadiq and wink twice. Fiala, make a perception check. You're closest. You probably got your back to Alessandros and Nari. There. So Fiala, you possibly would see. Just roll a perception check for me.
I am just staring at the crown with a 4.
And that's exactly it. You are solely preoccupied with this golden crown with its blue, red, and green gems. It looks like it's got a platinum filigree inlay in it as well. You are quite taken by it. In fact, roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh, That's a 5.
Ooh.
With a 5, you're looking at this crown, and you so want to pick it up. You really, really want to pick it up.
Guys, if this isn't magical, it should be pretty safe then to just take. I mean, nothing's gonna happen. So, right?
Damn it.
Like
All right.
I mean,
Hit lied.
you lied to me.
you what?
No, I lied to everyone. The crown is glowing magical and the mace is glowing magical, but I don't want you to rush in and touch it and get killed. I was trying to save your lives.
Now, when you say it's glowing magical, do you know, like, is it a curse type magic or is it?
You would know the type of magic, and again, it is abjuration magic.
The type of magic that I see here is of the school of abjuration, and we've been over what abjuration is. So I shall not repeat it.
I
What
don't
was that
quite.
again?
I don't quite remember what was.
Sure. I didn't study that one.
So we talked about this, guys. It is the art of abjuring. To abjure something is for when you are using abjuration. It's so simple. I don't get why you don't get it.
That sounds a lot like acquiration, and I want to acquire it now.
Fiala, you're finding it very, very difficult not to just reach out and touch and grab that crown. The overwhelming urge to pick it up and put it on your head is just, it's getting almost impossible to not do.
I've got my beady eyes on her, and I'm ready to slap her hands if she tries.
Well, considering you're about 10 feet behind her, you can't do anything right now. You'd have to move
I've
first.
got my beady eyes on her, and I'm ready to pounce and slap her hand if I need to.
Like, kind of turn away from it, but kind of put my fingers down toward it, like behind my back, to kind of pick it up a little bit. I'm gonna reach for it.
You reach for it?
You guys aren't really stopping me.
I'll
I can't help it.
give Anara, you're probably too far away even for a reaction at this point. But
what's the
Sadiq,
distance?
you are probably, you're back towards the door, so you're probably 15, 20 feet away.
I could shadow step there.
Not with a lit room, you couldn't.
Oh, it's fully lit, is it?
Well, between you, Sadiq, with your sword flaming, which you said you had before.
Yeah, I don't think
And
Sadiq does though.
Did you have yours, your Rid of Dawn still up?
Mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with those both still up, and the room the way it is, there would not be enough shadow for you to shadow step.
Well, that put that out of the question then, doesn't it?
So Sadiq and Het, I'll give you both a reaction.
I'm gonna try to stop it.
You can try to stop it. So
At the same time as he tries to stop her, Hit holds up his symbol of the Steel Lady, and he says, "Dance with me," and he casts command.
on Fiala.
Yes, at third level.
Third level. What's the save on that?
Oh, actually, I'm not. No, just at second level. I thought it would make it harder for her to save, but it does not.
No, it doesn't. It just gives you an extra target, I think.
So wisdom save, yes.
So I'll get firstly I'll get Sadiq's to be a dex check from Sadiq to see how quick you are at reaching out to try and stop it, and a dex. So dex be tech dex. So dex roll from you as well, Fiala. She's got to beat a 12 to get Sadiq to stop you.
I rolled a 5.
And your wisdom save.
Oh. That's the first nat one of the night.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Critical fail.
So Hit's command was dance. That's the one.
So, not only does
With me.
Sadiq slap your hand before you get you get about an inch away from the crown, and Sadiq just reaches out and slaps the back of your hand, forcing you to recoil. It was painful, not enough to do damage, but it hurt. And then all of a sudden, you get this urge just to start dancing. Just uncontrollable. You just feel like you need to dance.
Oh. All right. Are we doing tango or what are we?
Hit.
The dance was not specified.
No, one word commands are much harder. But Hit is ready. He puts his arms up in dance position and takes a lead and says to the guys, "Okay, now do what you have to do. I can only hold it for so long. I mean, I can hold it forever, really, but she will know I've commanded her when this ends."
Uh-oh. We need tango music, Evil. No.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, well, Hick can provide the music.
I drew a craft a little rose in my teeth.
So with that, yeah. So what Sadiq and Ari, Alashronis, what are you guys doing as Het and Fiona are currently tangoing around this room?
Sit down and watch the show. That's what I'm doing.
Fair call, fair call. Makes sense.
It's
He said the mace was also magic, didn't he?
He did. They both had a faint magical aura.
you have like 6 seconds, guys. Make a decision.
So what? So it's just the crown and that. Was there any doors out of here?
No, there was not.
I
Have
wanna
we
check.
checked to see if there's any doors out of here?
That was
You want to investigate the room?
Well,
Both,
yeah.
if you want to check around for any kind of secret door or anything like that, both of you roll investigation, or one roll advantage.
Nat 20.
We'll go with hers.
25.
A critical success. So we've we've rolled a natural
Which makes it
20. With that, you both investigate the room. You have a good look around, and doesn't seem to be any doors or hidden levers or anything nothing like that seems to be. I mean, there's lots of old furniture and these old pots and things sort of strewn around, but no doors or hidden levers or secret latches or anything like that you can find.
So I'm not going to be able to put my hand through walls or anything.
You find nothing but solid wall
Okay. So I'm going to check under the throne.
Hey,
under the
guys,
couch.
I-
It's not a throne.
I got a bad idea.
Oh,
All
your last bad
ideas
idea
are
nearly
pretty
killed
bad.
us.
Yeah, okay. I got a worse idea then.
Got an idea.
Okay.
Grab the mace, put it to rest on the skeleton.
As in hard.
No, just lay it on the chest of the skeleton.
How's this, Ali? Since you've got that stupid little hand that isn't actually your hand, how about you do it?
Okay, I'll do that.
So you're going to cast Mage Hand.
Yeah, cast mage hand, pick up the
And-
mace.
So you'll need to roll a strength check for the hand to pick up the mace. Because I'm not sure how much can they carry.
God, I've got no idea.
I can't remember how much Mage Hand is able to carry.
As a bonus action, you can try and shove one creature you can see within 5 feet of us with the spectral hand, creating by image.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. That's specifically the one that you've got, but I'm allowing you to cast it as a proper Mage Hand. So I'll just look up the Mage Hand spell here for a moment. Allowing a little bit of flavour here for this. So
10 pound.
£10. Yeah, you better pick up the mace without. I'd do that without a skill check. So you cast Mage Hand. You order it with your mind to pick up the mace. And what did you want to do with it?
Lay it on the skeleton's
Lay it
chest.
on the skeleton's chest. One second here.
Better he lays the mace on the skeleton's chest than a deuce.
You cast a spell, it takes. Hand reaches forward, picks up the mace. The moment the mage's hands enclose around the mace's handle and start moving towards the skeleton, you hear, "Who dares disturb the rest of Asarak? It is your death which you have found." And the skeleton lifts its head. Its eyes flash a deep arcane blue, and it slowly sits up and stands. The mace is then torn from the mage hand's grasp and is returned to its rightful owner. And we'll get everyone to roll initiative.
Sorry, guys.
No,
That's
you're
fine.
not.
I gotta find out which. Nope, that's not the encounter I was looking for.
This is not the encounter you're looking for.
No, this is not the encounter you were looking for. I am looking for a different encounter.
Just go with that one. Is it easy?
No, it's not actually. It's very hard.
It's like
That's
the one
what
that
she
we're going to
said.
do.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
No.
Sorry, Sadiq. Carry on.
So many things,
So many.
So many things.
especially with that old mage hand.
Right. So why is she still on there? Holy cow! I need to edit something. Just give me one moment. She should not be in
Tinder. Oh, we've done this already, I'm sure.
there.
Yeah, let's stop dancing. But,
Right, Alessandro, your initiative, please.
12.
12. Hit.
15.
Fiela.
4.
4. Anari. Can't hear you.
I said I'm wasting all my nat 20s tonight, so I got 25.
Wow. Holy shit. And Sadiq.
16.
Put your microphone up a little bit. It's under your chin. 16?
Yeah.
Cool. So, first in the initiative order is Miss fucking Fancy Pants. Anari with a 25. So, Anari, as you hear this booming voice, which seems to come from everywhere, and we will go over to this screen here. Mace is no longer on the ground, but the figure stands in front of you. And so, Anari, you are back here still. Well, actually, there one by the chair. Het is by the door. Between you and Het is Alessandros, and then Sadiq and Fiela side by side. Sadiq there and Fiela there. Right in front of the large skeleton type creature that has just woken from his slumber.
Right.
So it is your first shot.
Before I do anything, I'm going to yell out, "Who are you?"
With no response.
Okay. So I'm going to knock an arrow.
Knock an arrow.
I'm going to knock an arrow, and I am going to shoot at said skeleton.
Shoot away.
28 to hit.
I think that hits. Did you use your ability, your sharpshooter,
No.
or is just standard?
That's just a.
Remember your first attack, you get three attacks on your first strike of the round.
So that's the first one. And that hits with 11 damage.
11 damage. Roger that.
second arrow is a nat 1, so that's an 11.
that will miss, and stop breathing on your microphone.
Sorry. And then my third.
Now we can't hear you. You don't have to have it right in front of your mouth, but you have to have it in that general area.
22 to hit.
Thank you. 22 to hit, that does hit. Your final shot does hit.
10 damage.
10 damage, and that's piercing damage.
That is piercing damage.
Okie. So you raised your bow. Your shoulder's still a little sore, but you're doing okay by now. You've had a rest and everything else. You knock your first arrow and you fire it, and you get full draw on it. It's an amazing shot. Hits just above the left shoulder. Sort of rocks it back a little bit. Your second shot, however, seems to find you're a little bit too accurate, and you hit the head of the mace as it sort of deflects it. And your last shot, hitting it just above the rib cage. Being a mostly skeletal figure, it sort of goes right through, and it doesn't really seem to do as much damage as you might have thought, but it has done some damage. And with that, it is now Sadiq's turn.
Okay. What's my amulet doing?
Your amulet is glowing in the colour which I forget for undead. And
So
it's evil as well. I mean, it's undead. So
Okay. So it's that damage and that damage. Alright. Run up and swing at him.
because you have the Rite of Dawn up on your weapon,
Yeah,
I believe.
right up dawn as well.
Cool.
So,
So
15 to hit.
15 that does hit.
Okay. Now for the fun part.
Now for all the damage.
Okay. So. D8. Uh, 20 points of damage for that attack
And your next attack,
is 15 to hit again.
that does hit.
16.
Oh, by the way, too, the door behind you is slammed shut as well. You are also now trapped in the room. I
18
forgot
points.
to tell you that.
Yeah,
Yes,
18 points of damage for that one.
18 points damage for that one, not a
Yeah.
problem. It takes some huge blows from Sadiq. The arcane damage sparking as it strikes the mace, through the mace, hits one of the bony sort of appendages. It definitely does damage, and it looks like it's being rocked. Doesn't seem to worry it too much though. As now it is its turn, and he raises the mace and starts moving his right hand as if readying to cast a spell, yet no sound comes from his mouth as his mouth starts moving as though he's trying to utter vocal commands. He then strikes down one attack each on Fiala and Sadiq. The first at Fiala sort of cocks its head to one side and looks. It's no eyelids, but it just the glowing arcane orbs in its head sort of turn and look towards you. And it.
Sorry, DM.
Yes.
Would Fiona be close enough if she was dancing with Het?
Depends on how far you'd gone, I guess. Actually, probably right. You guys probably would have been moved a little bit away, wouldn't you?
I tried to move her away from the crown as the gist, but wouldn't be too far. Maybe.
I'll put you in the
near
center.
room.
Yeah, I'll put you in the center of the room.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
So both attacks on Sadiq then. Sorry, Sadiq. And they will both hit, one with a 19 and one with a 22.
Yeah, they hit.
As he strikes down with this well crafted mace, you will take 14 points of bludgeoning damage, and you will take 14 points of necrotic damage also. The creature will then sort of look around the room, and once again he will bellow, "It is your death that you have found this day." But it doesn't come from him, it just comes from everywhere. It's almost like the room is just emanating the sound. With that, Hit, you are up.
So Hit finishes his little dance using half his movement and his bonus action, pirouettes Fiela towards the door a little. I guess that we'll have to make.
I'll give you your half your movement just for that. You won't use up your bonus action.
Okay, that is good, thank you. And then, as he lets her go, he holds forth his combined symbol of the Steel Lady and the Rattlehead, and he says, "We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in this dungeon. We shall never surrender." And he blesses everyone else except for himself.
And
So,
with
that's-
that,
all the other members have now a D4 on your saving throws and attack rolls.
with that, you are all now marked with Hit's blessing, which gives you the D4. You might want to wipe that off later, but all good.
And then Het moves back towards the closed door.
Which I better close, just for good measure.
With his bonus action, Het, or with Killick would be there too. Het will move Killick behind him in the corner.
We have a nice bright white Click up on his little stand in the corner.
Thank you, and that is all for Het this round.
So, with that is Hit's turn. You're all feeling a little bit more empowered as Hit blesses you all. Alessandros, you are now up. And Fiela, you're up after that.
Move down to next to Sadiq, or next to the thick skeleton thingy.
So you're going to move right down to the giant
Yep.
skeleton.
Yep.
You can do with relative ease.
Now I only get one attack done because I moved.
Depending on what you're attacking with.
Flame tongue.
Yeah, so if you're attacking with your flame tongue rapier, that'll be your main hand, and if you've got a dagger equipped or another melee weapon equipped, you can attack with your offhand.
Okay, that's 2 attacks. Awesome.
Because you have a companion within 5 feet, your first attack will be at advantage and with sneak attack.
Yep. Okay, so 19 to hit.
That does hit.
gotta
Roll your math.
Okay.
Mine's harder.
Math's hard.
So that's 5 damage for the blade. Plus 9 damage flame. And 10 sneak attack.
So 19. How much for the initial attack?
5.
5.
Oh,
So
how?
24.
That was the first blade.
Yep. So 24 damage. Your first attack, as you slice in across its rib cage with your flaming rapier. Now with your offhand weapon, which is a dagger, I believe.
No.
Oh, another.
+1.
The +1 rapier. Awesome. Rolls for
Uh,
hit.
14.
That is a miss. As you strike out with your offhand, the creature anticipates your attack and parries it with his mace. Large kang as it just lifts it and deflects your attack. And with that is pretty much you done. Fiela, it's your turn.
I would like to cast Mass Cure Wounds, 5th level,
5th level
On
Mass Cure Wounds.
everyone.
Nice.
And it should cover everyone. That's going to give them 27.
27 points of healing as Fiela holds her holy symbol or whatever, or shillelagh, I think it is your focus.
Yep.
And utters the magic words and makes the incantation, and you all just feel a warm sensation build up from inside, and you all just feel so much more revived, sort of energized. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here. Yeah, that's me.
It's you, and we're now back to the top of the initiative order with Nari.
Right, I'm going to use sharpshooter this time.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack with my longbow again.
Yep.
This time it's 21 to hit.
It hits.
That's the first one.
Might as well roll them both.
Oh, okay. And a nat 20 for the second one.
Natural 20!
So it would be 25.
They both do hit. Roll your damage.
Right, so, and this is plus 10 for each one with sharpshooter.
It is. Did you roll a sharpshooter on the last one as well?
Yeah, with
So
both.
how can you get a natural 20? It's minus
Because
5. It's a 15.
I rolled a nat 20 and my plus 10 to hit DC, so it's actually 25 to hit.
True. There you go then.
So that's
Still breathing on the microphone, by the way.
19 for the first one and 21 for the second, so that is 40 points of piercing damage.
So, describe how your final arrow...
Sorry, 31 for the second
Doesn't
one.
matter, still dead.
Still did.
Still dead. Describe how your final arrow destroys this entity.
It's the second arrow goes over, comes down,
No, it doesn't.
just under the crown.
How
through
can
the
it go
eyes
over?
of
How
it.
can it go over? It's an
Over
arrow.
Whoever's in front of me, you know,
It's
kind
a
of
straight
goes
shot. It's literally
over.
15
Okay,
feet.
so it goes straight in through the eye
Physics,
socket,
man, physics.
pings the
It's a magical arrow.
and it just collapses in a heap.
So you're wanting it to hit it in the eye, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
At an angle that it pings the crown.
The
of
crown?
its head.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So your first shot fires through, hits it square in the chest where the heart would be normally. There's no heart there, however, it's withered and dried up long ago. But your second shot, you steady yourself, you draw, and you fire, and you tilt it just slightly as you release, and it strikes the eye socket, or the left eye, hitting the bone at the bottom, angling it up further still. As it fires through and hits the top of the skull, shattering it into a dozen bits, the crown is also lifted and hits the ground and rolls to Fiala's feet and stops as it hits Fiala's ankle.
Convenient.
The creature then
Hello.
the creature then sort of just instantly collapses, and as if it was never alive. The door
Yes,
behind you swings open ajar, like it almost hits you in the back. It didn't not
Should
with
have
any
hit
force.
Me. I stood beside it.
Yeah, not with any force, but enough. You hear it sort of click as it opens, and it sort of swings and sort of taps you as it opens.
I
Is
look
it-
at-
You also hear from the corridor, because you're the closest, you hear an audible concrete on concrete.
I look at Fiala and I look at Het and I say, "Can you check that again?" And it should be safe now.
And
You think
that
it-
is initiative over.
I think the crown is safe of magic now.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
10 minutes
Right.
would not have passed through that battle, I believe, so my
No.
detector would still
The
be up.
pursuit magic will still be up. It still has a faint magical aura, but the mace no longer does.
So the mace looks clear, but there's still some abjuration magic on that crown. I mean, let me explain. Listen, right? Abjuration magic, and we've been over this.
Acquiration.
Okay, how can I put it in layman's terms? It's like protective spells, something that is like a barrier, maybe to stop trespassers, to stop harmful things. Okay, I don't. It's abjuring, all right. It is protecting that crown. If you pick it up, something will protect it. Probably won't protect you. I'm only guessing here. But
Step away
so-
from the crown,
So
Fiona.
it could be a crown of like protection, or it
Or
could
the
be
wearer.
a cursed crown. Is
well, it could
that
be a
what you're trying to say?
crown that's protected. Yes, it's give or take. We don't know which. We would need to maybe pick it up, put it in a backpack, and get it identified at a later stage, maybe by some mage or sorcerer who is a little more powerful than I am.
Allie,
Can we
check
just
the
let her
traps.
pick it up and put it in a backpack so she's at least touched it?
Please
I
treat
mean-
me like I'm a child, and I pick up the crown.
Put it in the bag.
Fiona, you pick up the crown. The moment you
Oh,
touch it
that's
in
it.
both hands, you reach down and you pick it up in both hands like you're going to pick it up and put it on your head. You pick it up like in a sort of that manner, and instantly inside your head, you hear, "I still live.
Oh shit.
You will still die down here. Come find me, if you will." And then I need you to make a wisdom save, please.
That is a 6.
And you will take 10 points of psychic damage also, as this voice invades your mind, causing the most intense migraine you've probably ever experienced in your life. Almost to the point that it brings tears to your eyes. And yeah, it is intense pain. It was only for a split second, and it dissipates relatively quickly, but it hurt. It was really painful.
Did
And
anybody else hear that?
no one else heard that. You also get the
I
sense,
didn't hear nothing.
yeah, you also instantly know that this creature that you've just dispatched back to the Nether Realms was not Asarak. It was a tool to test whoever tried to raid his tomb. Asarak still lives.
Okay. I heard voices, and yeah, the little guy's not dead yet.
Oh, that happens to me a lot. It could be a deity trying to get you to follow one of their whims. You could be getting a god.
Right.
So you hear voices all the time, do you hear?
Well, I mean, only when they speak to me, but yes.
And with that hit too, you also notice that the moment that that Fiona sort of said she heard this voice, and you can see that she's obviously had some sort of painful event. That's quite obvious. The magical aura from the crown dissipates and disappears.
Oh, and not to mention, when you said you're in pain, are you okay? Do you need me to heal you, Fiona?
It's just a little headache. I think I'll be okay.
I think you have either utilized or absorbed the magic of that crown.
Is that abjuring it?
It's yeah. I mean, it's sure giving you an abjure migraine.
I don't want to be abjured again.
I mean, I guess it's safe to wear now, maybe, but
Do you put it on
I'll
your head?
wait. No, I'll wait.
You sure?
Yeah. Give it to Allie to put in the bag.
I'm
I'd
sorry
like-
about. Sorry, carry on.
I'd like to examine the inner part of the crown.
You can. It's not going to take a roll. You have a look at it. You pick it up. Have a look on the inside. There's nothing inside it. There's no inscriptions or runes or anything like that in there. It's just
Or
a crown.
needles.
No needles. No
Okay,
needles.
cool.
No. Nothing that'll spike your brain or anything
Are you
like
gonna
that.
put it on, Allie?
Hell no.
Ellie's stupid, but she's not.
Hey!
But she's not.
Well, you know,
Sentence. Finish the sentence.
at least she didn't stick her hand into that black Geese can show up naked after that. So
Yeah, true.
Oh,
Oh.
So with that team, what are we
I reach
doing?
out and cast the slap him spell.
Slap him.
point the arrow at him.
Oh, can I look for my arrows, please, just while we're...
You can try and retrieve your arrows. The one that passed through would have been destroyed on the concrete wall behind it. The one that shattered his skull is probably not usable, but you can recover 2 of the 4 arrows, or 5 arrows that you fired. So you lost 3.
Head goes over to Fiala and he says, I hope you enjoyed the dance.
Yeah, you didn't have to command me. I mean, I can dance with you without forcing, you know.
Sometimes I like to be in command. And then Head puts his hands up and he does this with prestidigitation and he makes a small amethyst tiara because he can't make anything much bigger than that. And he says, it won't last long, but you can wear it for now.
Nice.
It's temporary.
Yes, but when we leave here, I will look into something a little more permanent.
Nice, and I kiss him on the nose.
I kind of prod Ellie and I'm like, is that the equivalent of a dragonborn, like, proposal?
I don't know.
So what are we doing, guys?
Going back out the doors. We did search the room, didn't we? Didn't find anything, did we?
No.
Well, you search the room for doors or levers or anything like that, nothing else.
Nice chair there, Ellie. Did you want to have a seat?
Be my guest.
After you.
Nah, I'm good.
I'd like to cast protection from poison on Allie, which will give her saving throws against being poisoned and resistance to poison damage.
You get advantage for saving throws
Yeah,
and resistance.
and resistance.
So done. So just make a note that you will have advantage on anything relating to poison, and you'll also have resistance, so you take half damage from poison. How long does that last?
1 hour.
1 hour. Cool. Take note of that.
Did anyone else hear the noise out in the hallway?
Yes, I was getting to that very concrete, scrapey sound.
Sounds like another door opened, maybe.
Let's investigate, shall we?
It could be a
Yes,
giant
Ellie.
boulder that's hit the ground and is running down the corridor waiting for us to step out.
That's why Ellie's
Ellie,
going to
after you.
investigate.
I see your point.
All right. So get to the door and have a look out the door. Do I see anything?
You see a corridor. The same corridor that you came in.
All right. Moving forward.
Who's still in the room, by the way?
Head
Now
is
that
still in the room.
Alessandros has moved out of the room, who's still in the room?
Wow.
Who is still in the room? Roll a perception check.
15.
Hit.
11.
Sadiq.
The best I'll ever get, 19.
And Anari.
9.
9. Sadiq, I'd say you're probably the only one that noticed it. Where the skeleton once lay, as you sort of turn and go to leave the room, something catches your eye. Right next to the pile of bones that once was this entity, see a flash of green. It's like a box of some sort underneath the golden couch.
Pick it up.
You reach under there and you sort of pull it forward, and it's a small chest. Looks to be made entirely of jade. Probably not much bigger than, say, a small suitcase or briefcase. About twice as deep as a briefcase would, but it's about that size, so it's a good size. Do you wish to open it?
No, I'm just going to stick it in my backpack as it is.
As it is? Okie dokie.
Yep.
Do we see him pick it up?
Well, it's not small. It would definitely, unless he was trying to hide it, you definitely would not notice him.
What size roughly is it?
I say, it's the size of a small chest, almost like it looks like a small sea chest, but it's entirely made of jade.
Oh my goodness, Sadiq, I did not know that orcs laid eggs.
I thought it was yours, Head.
Did he laying an egg? What'd you got?
It's a jade box that I was going to investigate later on. So
Every
Leave alone.
box should be opened.
Yeah.
Yes, let us get our hands in it. No, I could be
Your
trapped.
detect magic's still up here, and it's not.
Yes.
It's not emanating any magic whatsoever.
Oh, never mind, your egg is not emanating any magic whatsoever.
I had that feeling since you would have already seen it when you originally cast it.
Possibly
It
not.
could be a key in there. It could be a key in there that we need for the other door.
I'd open it up and
It could be certain death. Maybe it's trapped. Before you open it, get Ellie to check.
I'm out the door.
Alice has left the room. She's out the door.
Oh crap, Ellie has left the room.
yeah, open it up.
You open it up, and second. You open it up, and you look inside, and there's some parchment rolls. What looks like, you're not sure what they are, but they could be important. You're not entirely sure. But you do see 6 small red vials, which you know to be healing potions. You also see a small pouch, not unlike a coin pouch. Pick it up. It's got a bit of heft to it. Do you wish to open it and investigate it?
Yep.
Inside, you discover 200 platinum pieces.
Crap.
So for those that are not entirely sure of the economy and how that works, platinum equates to 100 gold. One platinum is 100 gold. So you've essentially discovered 2,000 gold pieces. There are, and underneath that, a number of small gems. Looks to roughly about 18 or 19 small assorted gems. Jade, ruby, diamond, a number of small gems there. And there's what appears to be a map showing the location in Paradigm, in the deep south of Paradigm, with an X marking a portion of that map. Nothing else written on it, just a location and an X, hand drawn.
So I'm going to hand the scrolls to Hit and see what he works out from them. And I'm going to do an alchemy check to see what type of healing pots they are.
You don't need to check for those, you'd know. 4 of them are greater healing potions, and 2 of them are superior healing potions.
4 greater.
4 greater and 2 superior.
And I don't have any superior, so.
And they should be listed in the in D&D Beyond as well.
Yeah. We'll look at the papers or scrolls that Sadiq handed him.
Yeah, he hands you 7 small scrolls. As you sort of unfurl them and glance over them, you know that the first 3 get are blank, but you've seen these types of scrolls before. These scrolls will allow you to inscribe 1 level 1 spell to this parchment, give you the ability to cast that without the use of a spell slot, without any components from you. It is inscribed onto the scroll. Once it's inscribed onto the scroll, it gives you the ability to cast it at will, as basically a free spell. You get three blank scrolls that give you that ability for first level spells. You also get 3 second level spell scrolls. So they will give you the ability to cast Dispel Magic is the first one. The second one looks to be a resurrection type spell. You know it is Revivify, but again, It's not something that Het is overly fond of, but you can do what you will with it. The third one is a 5th level spell. It's a 5th level fireball spell. And the last spell that is there is a banish spell, which is a 6th level banish spell.
Okay, that's good. I like these. He takes the Revivify or Resurrection type scroll and he rolls it up, holds it in front of him, and gets ready with a firebolt, and then he walks over to Fiala and says, Fiala, you might like this.
Okay, thank you.
And he puts the fire out in his hand.
Do you read it or you just pocket it?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it and then look at him a couple minutes and then put it in my back.
So you understand it as well. I mean, you're both arcane practitioners, even though the bulk of your magic is based in the nature realm. You are familiar with the Revivify spell. You know that you don't have the ability to cast one as yet, but you know you will eventually, and you know that it's going to take a diamond worth at least 500 gold to be able to cast.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Sadiq, I would say with your background, you'd probably have a relative understanding of gems and what their worth is as well. Knowing that this small chest is made entirely out of jade, and the hinges look like they're probably either platinum or silver, you would estimate that the worth of the container itself is probably somewhere around the 3,000 gold mark. It's really well made.
I'm going to take the whole... I'm going to put the money back into it, close it up, stick it in my backpack.
And yeah, it'll just fit in your backpack. It's quite big, but it'll fit in there. It will take up a fair amount of room, so it's not very heavy, but it will take up a reasonable amount of room in your pack. And with that, that's pretty much everything you find. However, as you were sort of rummaging through the jade coffer, you guys all noticed, even though I was trying to, you noticed this from outside the room, but from where you are, it sounds like it's coming from inside the room, but where you guys are, it sounds like it's coming from outside the room. You hear the low rumbling, almost like an earthquake sound, like an earthquake sort of building up, getting ready to sort of strike or cause its effect. You then see dust start to fall from the ceiling above you. That rumble slowly builds, and then the ceiling starts to
Get the hell out
crack and break. The walls start to shake. Floor beneath you starts to shake. So as you start to move, I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw, except for Alessandros, because you feel nothing. You're hearing it, but you just don't feel anything.
of here. Oh, dex saving throw.
Yes, everyone with a dex saving throw, please.
24 for me.
24, no worries. Hit.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, Anari. Didn't hear you. You're muted.
That would be because I'm muted. 26.
26. Fiala. The look on that face. Sorry, the look on your face, I know it's a bad roll. 6.
Yeah.
So as
She just loves saying 6 with that accent.
So as you guys sort of, Sadiq suggests, run, let's get out of here. You turn on your heels and you all sort of make a quick exit. Fiala, not noticing the mace is sort of at her feet as well, trips and falls. And you will take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as you sort of fall and hit your head quite hard on the stone floor as you sort of trip. I don't think anyone would notice either, because everyone sort of turned and moved, and you just sort of reacted a little bit slowly and would have been last out of the room. The rest of you, as you join Alessandros, you notice that, it takes a few seconds, but you get out of the room and think, wait a minute, I can still hear the sound, but the ground's not moving. There's no dust. You're sort of a little bit baffled about what's just happened. You can still hear that rumbling. Fiala, as you get up and go to move towards the door, a section of ceiling from behind you collapses, narrowly missing you as you head towards the door. Another section to your right collapses, sending rubble into the room. I need you to make another dexterity saving throw for me, please. Heading for the door.
Hit goes back and tries to help her too.
Hit, you turn and head back.
Did the same.
I can't hear you. So with that, Hit, you turn and head back. I would say in this time, you'd be able to make it back to the doorway, and as you make it to the doorway, you see the rubble sort of dropping from the ceiling behind and around Fiala as she's heading towards the door. What was your dex save?
I still have bless, right?
You do, so D4.
Yes.
6.
Really?
I knew it.
Hit, I'll give you a reaction as she's heading towards the door. She must have found the only crack in the floor that was uneven, and catches her foot in this little crack on the edge of the cobblestone, and sort of lurches forward as if she was to fall. So I'll give you a reaction. Dex check for me, please. I'll make a dexterity or strength, your choice, because you should be able to reach out and grab her. So if you strength to pull her out of the room.
It's pretty damn good either way. So check, just a check.
Just a check.
That is 2. So
As
Hit
you
goes,
reach
"Oh,
out,
I'll get you."
as you reach out to try and grab her, you both just touch fingers. As she falls forward yet again. This time you don't take any damage though, Fiona, but you fall and you just sort of flop down on your side as you just touch the tip of Hit's fingers as he reaches out to try and help you. And yeah, Hit, all you see is Fiona go on the floor in front of you. The roof still falling in and around her, the walls crumbling in, revealing sort of just the bare earth behind what this room once was. 6 seconds, what are you going to do? We've got 6 seconds to...
I'm going to turn around and try to help.
You turn around trying to help as well?
Yeah.
And are you were trying to help also?
Yep.
It's going to be a bit of a mission for you all to try and help in this narrow doorway. It's a single door. You're all trying to fight to sort of get past each other. So I think
I'll check it up.
Sadiq and Anari, you need to make a dex check. The one with the highest dex check will manage to get to where Hit is. And then you'll have to make another dex check to try and get past Hit.
12.
12, Anari? Just a straight dex roll.
13.
So you guys sort of turn and rush forward towards Hit. You almost like jam shoulders as you sort of both head down the hallway. And Anari, you're a little bit more dexterous and a little bit more wiry, and you manage to sort of just push past and sort of duck under him a little bit. And you get down to where Hit is, and Hit's a big dude. He's sort of in the doorway. If you want to try and get past him, you'll have to make a dex v dex to get past each other.
Okay.
Or you to get past him. So your dex versus Hit's.
19.
Because he wouldn't even have a chance to react and sort of move out of the way. It's sort of you trying to push past.
No, Hit gets 7.
I'm just
So
jumping over him.
yeah,
I'm leaping over.
you're gonna leap. You're gonna
his-
sort of frog leap over top of him.
Yep.
So you sort of run up. You run up to Hit. You sort of, oops, excuse me, and you sort of frog leap over top of him. Sort of half pie flip, half roll kind of thing into the room, landing on your feet facing the door. It was a pretty acrobatic move, and you grab Fiala by sort of her
Anything.
skimpy little armor from sort of one side of the back, and sort of pick her up back to her feet and push her forward.
Throw her through the floor.
Hit. This kind of takes you by surprise, and Fiala's sort of thrust towards you, and is sort of right in your face. All of a sudden, sort of up and in your face instantly, with Anari right behind her as another section of ceiling collapses behind them. As you guys all sort of tumble through the door.
Out of the way so those two can actually get through easier.
Yeah, that'll be easy enough to do. You're strong enough. You all sort of, as Hits pull back, Fiala and Anari sort of spill through the door, sort of half pie rolling and staggering as they come through the door. The entire room just collapses, sending dust and debris back out this partially open door. more enough to sort of almost choke you guys too. It fills the corridor that you're in with quite thick dust and dirt and things like that. So you'll probably start coughing quite heavily. Not enough to choke you to any kind of damage, but enough to definitely obscure your breath for a bit and to cause a bit of a gnarly sort of cough for a bit. And then after a few moments, the rumbling ceases, and you sort of look back through what's left of this partially open door, and the room is now just a pile of rubble.
Well, that went well, huh?
I just give Fiala a big hug.
Oh.
And just quietly say, welcome.
And with that, we will take a short break. I think it's a good time. I think it's a good part to take a break. So we will take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back. When we come back, we'll answer any questions you guys have in the chat, if any. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves so far. So I'm just going to do a quick break. We'll run a short ad as well. So we will see you shortly. And welcome back. Right, chat. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone is well and enjoying the show. We haven't killed the team yet, not for lack of trying. Night is young. Still have time. Deadeye is 500. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it very, very much. And the posture check 43 minutes ago from Nutty Tart. Leo, welcome, dude. Thank you. I appreciate the fact you enjoy the content. We hope to see you back again here next weekend when we carry on. Potato Shot Aura. I am on Ambry Place. Who's Potato Shot Aura? I forget. Is that Drax? Oh, that's right, it is too. You son of a bitch. So he's in the chat twice. Well done.
Things he does.
Oh yeah. Well, last time he was on Ambry Place, he dropped off a bag of rubber bands in my letterbox. Yes, I said rubber bands. It's a Scum thing. For those that play Scum will understand.
They're really useful.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was actually quite grateful for rubber bands. I actually have had a use out of them, believe it or not. But it is one of those things. But to those that have joined us fresh from tonight, thank you very much for checking us out, and I hope you enjoy the show. The rest of the show is available on my YouTube. !YT in the chat will give you the YouTube link. You can go check out the previous episodes. We've also got our one-shot episodes up on YouTube as well. We did a 2-part one-shot with Het down here DMing for us while I was recovering from my teeth, which I'm still recovering from, but definitely getting better. We also have 4 episodes of the Curse of Strahd campaign, which I started, which unfortunately I'm not able to carry on with. But I am going to look at redoing at a later date with this crew if they're keen. After this particular campaign is finished, we are looking at a Vampire the Masquerade campaign, which Het will be DMing for us, will be storytelling. The rest of us will be playing vampires / humans / ghouls, whatever we decide in that story. And then after that story, I'm probably going to look at maybe doing a Curse of Strahd with a bit of a twist. It's going to be sort of a mix of the Curse of Strahd plus a little bit of my own stuff as well. Then once we get through that, I'm possibly going to look at another homebrew campaign. Possibly, we'll see. Last time you were dropping off the Snickers bars, that's right.
Nice. It's absolutely hammering down at the present second.
We've had pretty much solid rain here for 2 weeks. It's been pretty rough. What about carrots? No, not carrots, Snickers.
Yeah, carrots would be good for you.
There you go. Magic, what's up?
Yeah, we've got the rain for the next 4 days.
Well, hopefully you guys don't get the heavy rain that we had here last week, because
No,
it was
you end up
solid,
popping it
man.
from us. You got it from us.
Possibly, but it was solid heavy rain for like 2 or 3 days straight. Pretty rough. We're half by expecting our bank to fall down again. But yeah, so is everyone back and watered and fed and drained?
Het is back.
Back again. Oh, really? No, wait, what?
I don't know that one.
I forgot to drain the little druid, but I'm okay.
You sure? We can wait? If you need to drain a little druid, we can wait. But yes, Magic, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're enjoying, sitting back and enjoying the show. We will kick it off if everyone is ready.
Yep. I got gummies. I'm good.
Okay.
That's what I was eating earlier.
So, we shall return to our story.
But mine were gummy beavers.
Of course they are. Gummy beavers. You leave the crumpled room behind you as you head back up the stairs, back through the doorway into the corridor, and meet up with Alessandros, who's sort of standing up the top of the stairs going, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly. What just happened?
Hearing the noise and everything else. So you've all rejoined each other at the top of the stairs.
Thank you, Inari. You saved my life.
Oh, what? What happened, guys?
Inari saved my life. The
A
whole
little bit of elven acrobatics comes in handy from time to time.
That's something I'll have to learn then.
Yes, apologies. I tried my best, but I was a little too heavy in the rocking of the corridor.
You caught? It's all good.
Thank you, Het. All right, where should we go from here? Does anybody know?
I'm gonna take that jade box out of my bag and give it to Ellie and tell her to put it in the bag of holding.
Okay. Easily done.
Can we see anything that would have moved with the rumbling and grinding of stone that we could hear outside?
Before that, huh? Where did you guys find this, and why didn't I find it, and why wasn't what?
We don't know, but don't worry about it. We found it. Now let's go.
All right then.
Still need to speak up a little bit, Nuddy. Just project forward a little bit more.
Project forward.
Forward, not sideways. We are going to get you a new microphone sometime in the next few weeks. So, yes, back to you. Sorry for breaking character there for a moment.
That's all right. Let's go. Where are we going anyway?
So
Lead the
to
way,
answer,
City.
yes, to answer your question, Inari, where you are, you're in the hallway. That was the 40-foot hallway that was out to where you first came in and first felt the fear effects when you first came into this area. And from where you are, you can't see anything that may have changed. Het and probably Alessandros did hear a grinding of stone when the false lich was defeated. But at this point, you can't really see the source of that. So, if you're moving back the way you came, you'd be ascending a flight of stairs, turning to the north, moving back up to where the secret door was above the acid trap.
Can you hear me better now?
No, we cannot hear you better. If anything, you were worse.
Okay.
What are we doing, ladies and gents? Put it in front of your face. Just remember to not breathe in it when you talk, and just mute yourself when you're not talking for now.
Well, I recommend we head back the way we cometh, seeing we can't go anywhere else.
That kind of makes sense.
So, marching order, please. Who is in the front, leading the way? Always Ellie.
Where's that rope? I want that rope.
Het will be somewhere near the middle with Killick
Okie dokie.
fluttering near by him.
Not a problem. So who's behind Alessandros?
I'll go behind Ellie.
Fiala and Het in the middle and Ari at the back?
Yep.
Yes.
Sounds good to me. So you move back to the staircase leading up, you make the turn to the north, and you start to ascend the staircase back to the small passage which led to the secret door. Alessandros, as you sort of ascend the staircase, the wall in which Het previously had pointed out had possible abjuration magic attached to it is no longer there. but there is a hallway beyond it, leading to the west.
Hey guys, look. I suppose you want me to go down there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the natural cause of things.
Why,
I'm
of
not
course.
fighting.
You're not just an ugly face.
All right. So head down the hallway, checking for traps.
I'll get you to roll. How far are you going to go? You can go 30 feet before it turns to the south again.
For the 33.
Okay, so roll the investigation for that 30 feet of passage.
15.
15. As far as you know, it's perfectly safe.
I have that rope tied around me, don't I?
I have no idea.
There is no rope.
Yeah, there is
What?
no rope. Just like there is no spoon. There is no rope.
So do you all move forward as Alessandros walks forward, sort of investigating? You can see her she's sort of looking at the floor and she's looking at the ceiling and she's running her hands across the walls as she sort of moves forward. Gets to the corner and turns the corner and has sort of looking around and up and down. Doesn't seem to find anything. When you get to the corner and turn to the south, you see another long corridor. This time actually relatively well lit. There seems to be 3 or 4 lit torches on either side of the wall as you go down. It's about a 50 or 60 foot corridor. It's sort of 10 foot wide, but about 50 or 60 foot long, and there is a rather solid looking iron door at the end of this corridor.
You want me to go down there, right?
Yep.
Yep.
There's only one way out of this place.
Uh,
Yes, with you starting at the beginning and going to the end.
so okay. I want some rope tied around me just in case. Okay, people.
So, Dig, do you still have your rope? We can put it around her neck.
Hey! Hey!
It works.
Not a bad idea there, Het. No, just wrap it around her waist and then around Het again.
Hey, hang on a minute. This wasn't part of the deal.
You're just the anchor head. It's okay.
I'm not a wet. Oh, Anchor, I'm with you now.
All right, check. King 30 foot for traps.
We can do it for the whole corridor. It takes so
All
long.
right,
We're going to
we'll do
check
it.
every time. So, mate, we'll make the investigation for the entire corridor as you're going down. And depending on what you get, we might include the door in that as well.
10.
As far as you know, there's no traps. Everything looks
Definitely don't
everything.
include the door.
Everything looks fine.
Yep, I know it does.
It's
All
great.
right.
It's an awesome corridor. It's made of stone and it's a little bit dusty, but the torches are lit. They look like they've not been burning long, almost like they've been recently restocked and lit or maintained in some way.
Wait, team. Can I ask a question of everyone?
Yes.
Fire away.
Who do you think would light the torches in this place? This is like a... Everything's got layers of dust. There's skeletons everywhere. Who comes and lights the freaking torches?
The torchlighter?
So there's another person down here we're looking for then too.
I would assume with the fact that we just killed a skeleton and someone heard a voice in their head, I probably assume it's him or it.
Are there tracks on the ground?
Good idea.
No,
footsteps.
you look down and the floor is actually relatively well travelled. It doesn't seem to be it's not as dusty as previous parts of the tomb that you've discovered. This part actually looks like it's been well used.
Maybe we were supposed to come this way first.
That's a little bit hard considering there was no doorway to start off with.
That's true.
This is true.
All right, carrying on.
Excellent. Lead the. I forgot he's tied to me with a rope. Sorry, she.
So with that, after a little bit of discussion, you sort of moving forward. Well, I'm assuming you're sort of moving forward while you're talking about it towards the door. You get to the door, and it's different than the other doors that you've struck. Most of the doors you've found have been sort of oaken wood type doors with metal bandings and cast iron hinges and things like that. This one is solid iron. It's riveted sheets of iron, and it looks like it's got the hinges you can't see from this side, so it looks like it's probably hinged from the other side. It's very well made. Something you would find
like
in
to push past and inspect the door.
Yeah, something you would probably find more in a dwarves mountain, more so than here. So do you want to inspect the door? What for specifically? Just for design or?
Yes, making design. Sort of mentioned it looks dwarven. It wants to have a better look.
Roll history check for me. If you are proficient, add your proficiency.
That is 17.
17? That's a pretty good roll. You look over the door. Dwarven technologies aren't really familiar to you, but you've heard them. You've heard your father talk about dwarves and their skills. And the skills as blacksmiths and as engineers and the wonderful things that they're able to make, the automatons and things that they can create. And looking at the door, you're pretty certain it's of dwarven origin, and you're damn certain that here in Paradigm, especially in this part of the realms, there are no dwarves close by. So it would have had to have been bought here by someone or something and placed here for whatever purpose.
Okay, Team Lions, I think this is one of my favorite types of door. It is dwarvish heavy metal.
Rock on.
I believe it is definitely of dwarvish origin. Is there a keyhole?
There is no keyhole that you can see.
Okay, Ellie, it looks good. Take her away.
What am I doing? There's no keyhole.
Are there words on it?
No, there's no markings of any kind. It's just, like I say, it looks like it's hammered steel. Heavy rivets around the frame of the door. It's set in a heavy concrete, like the stone frame. The actual frame, the door frame, is a different type of stone than the rest of the tomb as well.
Did we try to push it and pull it?
Do you
Not
want me
yet.
to check? Would you like me to check for traps first?
That would be a good idea.
I'll check the door for traps.
Roll investigation. Don't forget to add your proficiency to your roll. You are a thief. You are proficient in finding these things generally.
Okay, so that would be 29.
That is a roll, ladies and gentlemen. You
Excellent.
look over this door, and it's not a type of door you're familiar with, but with a roll like that, there are definitely no traps, no mechanical traps of any kind on this door. You do, however, notice the door has no hinges. It looks like it slides upwards into the cavity of the ceiling. There is no hinges whatsoever that you can see.
So follow them.
You also, in your travels around the realms before joining the Adventurers Guild, you've been in a few caves and tombs looking for certain things, and your last travel into a cave and tomb, however, you came across something similar. And you look to your left, and there is a torch on the wall that is not lit, but it also is not dusty. And you reach out, look at it, and you pull on it. And as you pull on it, it freely comes forward with a loud clunking noise, and the door slowly raises.
At the exact same time, Head uses prestidigitation to make sparks come out of this handle.
what are we going to do? Yeah, that I'm just going to say, you get a hurrah of a fright. You're not expecting it. Sparks come out of the handle right near your hand, and it gives you a bit of a start.
Awesome.
Oh, that was nearly dangerous. Glad that trap didn't go off properly there, eh, Ellie?
I'll get you to check for the traps next time, Hat.
No problem. I've learned a lot about traps in our travels.
How not to fall in them.
Yes, and one of our team members has shown me how to make snares at one stage. I believe it was Sadiq.
Yes.
That's correct.
I am a good trap looker. Or is it lookerer? I'm not sure.
Bookera?
Okay, so with that fright being over, and the doors are going up, or is already up, what do we see inside?
By this time, it's sort of risen. You now are faced with a room, very cluttered-looking room. There's several shelves and a lot of shelves lining the walls down both sides, and in the centre there's a couple of large shelves as well. Right in the centre room, sort of as you're sort of peering through, you see a large vat of some description. Has some form of viscous fluid in it, from what you can see. It has like sort of clay tops and bottoms, but it has almost like a resin, see-through resin around the middle of it, so you can actually see the fluid. Very interesting looking stuff. Anyway, from where you are, can't really see much else without moving into the room. So with that, would you like to move into the room, you guys? Or are you quite happy staying where you are?
Move into the room.
Yes, affirmative.
Speak up, lady.
Would like to move into the room.
Still very quiet, but I heard you that time.
How about now?
That's better.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to move into the room.
Yeah. How are you doing, Dave?
Are you all moving into the room? Is the question.
Yes.
Yes.
Moving as a group? Okie dokie. So as you move in, and again, you're sort of looking around the room, and yeah, the walls, there's just shelves of odds and ends, old jars filled with dust and weird and wonderful, strange things. Most of them, you're not even sure what they are. It's just some odd, like one look like it's got an old shriveled hand, and the other one's filled with eyeballs and some really weird shit. Ointments and tonics of different things, perfumes, linen wrappings sort of strewn about across different shelves, some dried herbs and bones and skulls. There's a few workbenches, that sort of stuff littered about.
How big are these jars, DM?
The vats themselves, there's three of them as you now walk into the room, and sort of they're right in there's lined sort of down the centre of this large room. The room is about 40 feet wide from the door to the back of the room, and it's about 50 or 60 feet in length. You sort of, as you're walking around, you can see at the opposite end from where you came in, there's another corridor leading out of this room. But the vats themselves, which are lined in the centre room, three of them, they're about 7 feet in diameter, and they're about 4 feet deep.
Oh, it was meaning the jars with hands and
Oh, jars with hands? They're about hand size, like mason jars.
Head will pick up a jar of eyeballs and stash it in his backpack. Not hiding it from anyone, just putting it a collection.
Add that to your notes that you have a jar of eyeballs. Assorted eyeballs. You're not sure what type of eyeballs, where they come from, but it just looks like a jar full of, in some form of liquid. They've been put in a liquid, but it's a jar of eyes.
Fiala, I'd be careful of that.
I think he's just keeping it for the midnight snack.
Just like pickled eggs, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Or pickled onions. He likes pickled
Eyeballs.
So back to the vat, yeah. So the three vats that you see in the room, 7 feet in diameter, roughly, about 4 feet deep. They all look like they contain some form of viscousy dark liquid. They all look like they're affixed to the floor too, almost like a big concrete sort of pedestal, but it looks like it's part of the moulding of these things.
Head takes out his compass. He flips the lid open. and he aims it, and he starts checking the vats for traps.
Which vat would you like to check first?
The
We will
vat
have
closest to hit
Western,
as we
which
come in through the door.
okay, so that'd be the Western one. So you got Western, the Middle, and the Eastern. So the Western vat, you compass. No one else has sort of seen it. As I dare say, you're kind of hiding it from them a little bit, so they don't see
No,
it.
Hit is holding the compass in clear view.
In clear view,
He
so
wants
that
them to
everyone can
think-
see it spinning and doing.
Yeah, he wants them to think it's doing some magical.
Okay, cool. So as he holds this compass out, if you guys take a glance at the compass, it is just spinning wildly, backwards and forwards. It's not pointing in any one direction for any length of time. It sort of spins clockwise for a moment and then stops momentarily and spins counterclockwise and back to clockwise and backwards and forth. Just crazily. There's no pattern to it. It's just random. You walk up to.
I will check for traps.
You walk up to the Western vat and sort of look around it. You look inside it, and as you're checking around it, and the liquid in this one, as you look sort of more closely, just looks like it's dirty water. It kind of smells stagnant as well. But roll an investigation check looking for traps on this vat.
Investigation. I tell you what. 21 is pretty good, right?
That's pretty good. As you go over the vat, about five so minutes you spend looking over it. You go over it really, really well. Like you check around the base, you check around the lip of the vat, you even sort of peer into the water, and you think about putting your hand in it. You sort of like, nah, it's probably not a good idea. But you check around the inside lip of the vat, and everything seems fine. Not trapped.
Hit continues to sort of move the compass around for a little bit. Then he flicks it close and says, "All right, everyone. I have scanned this vat with the compass, and the vat scans reveal there is no traps here."
So you mean the bat scans? Okay.
Correct. The vat VAT scans.
Oh, bat. Okay.
All is good. You can drink that, Ellie. It's Ellie. It's good.
So the VAT scan came up with nothing.
Incorrect. The VAT scan came up safe.
Okay. Did you test the contents?
Negative. It is not raw blood, nor is it raw meat.
Okay. I'm just gonna grab. Do I have anything that is
There are
metallic?
hundreds of things in this room that you could use to test the vat.
Okay. Is there anything metally in the room that I can pick up?
Metally? Yeah, it is. Like, there's a few old metal pipes and sort of
Yeah, I'll grab
implements,
I'm gonna
tools
grab
of some sort.
metal pipe, and I'm just gonna dip it in one of the vats.
Which one?
The one in
Western,
the
middle, or eastern?
Middle.
Middle one?
Yep.
You walk over the middle vat, and this liquid is kind of, it's still a darker browny greeny color. It's kind of weird. It smells really pungent, a lot stronger than the Western vat. How far do you submerge it in? Like, do you put your hand in it, or just submerge the metal?
No, just submerge the metal. I don't mind putting my hand in it. You crazy?
Not like you haven't done it before.
I know.
Well, let's see.
So you put it in, and as you pull it out again, the metal it clings to the metal a bit, so it's quite viscous, this fluid, and it kind of seems corrosive, but not really. It looks like it might be reacting with the metal, but
Okay.
it's kind of hard to tell.
So I'm gonna go around to each of the vats and do the same thing, with different pieces of metal that I pick up.
The Eastern vat, it's kind of the Eastern vat is really grey in nature, and it's kind of sticky, like really sticky. And as you go to put the metal into it, it almost like it reaches up to try and grab it. It literally, like, before you even get close to it, like a foot off it, a long sort of tenderly thing out and tries to grab the metal. And as you
Okay,
sort
I'd
of pull
step
back,
back
it
from that.
stops back down.
Okay.
And it's almost like the liquid in this thing is moving on its own.
relay this to the team as I carry on. Hey guys, this one tries to eat you, so don't put hands anywhere near it.
The one thing you do notice, however, it's a greyish liquid, but you can sort of see through it. And at the bottom of it looks like half of a key, like quite a reasonable sized key, but it's half. It's only half of it.
How deep's the liquid?
4 feet.
Too long for me to put my arm in. Oh, no, I'm not
Really?
even
You're
going.
breathing down
I'm
the
not
microphone,
even
by the
gonna
way.
go
Really?
Okay, guys, I'll just keep going around. I'll tell him about the key, but I'm going to keep going to. I'll go to the next vat.
There is
Yeah,
no other vat. There's only 3.
Oh,
so-
okay.
So the first vat, what did they have in it?
Looked like it smelt like dirty water to head. The second vat had a sort of greenish greyish liquid, and the third vat was a greyish sort of really thick, goopy stuff. But as I say, I only noticed half of a key at the bottom of that vat.
Would your mage hand be able to grab a key?
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. So I cast Mage Hand.
Are you able to cast that at will, or is it
at
once per
will.
short rest?
Hang on.
Double check that, because I think there may be a limitation on that spell.
I'll get there eventually.
You will eventually.
You can cast Mage Hand cantrip without verbal commandments and make, doesn't say, one bonus action.
Okay, give me 1 second here. It was just a bonus action, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's part of telekinesis.
yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it's basically a cantrip, so you can cast it as a bonus action. Yep, doesn't say that. Okay, so which vat are you going to?
The grey viscous
The grey viscous
moving one. Yeah. So we're gonna put it over that and start lowering it to see if we can get the key. Half a key.
Half a key. Right.
He's taking too long. This is going to be bad.
Could be.
Your hand explodes and blows your face off.
Right, so as you cast your mage hand, you need to, you're going to try and push it in, get it to push itself into this liquid and retrieve the half of key from the bottom of it.
Yeah.
As the hand starts getting closer to it, this viscous liquid reaches out for it again. You need to make a strength check to see if you can sort of push into it or resist it grabbing your mage hand. So strength check with your mage hand's stats.
Yeah. Hang on. So. I don't know what my stats are for it.
I'll find it for you. Should list it on the spell. I think it's your stats anyway. Can carry more than 10 pounds. How can attack it with magic items? So just roll a d20. We'll do a d20 versus d20.
All right, so just a d20.
Just roll a d20.
19.
19. So with that, you, as the liquid reaches up to try and grab the hand sort of pulls back out of its grasp and then pushes forward quite firmly. and disappears into the vat. The moment it disappears into the vat, you get the sense that it is no longer active. It seems to have dissipated almost instantly. And with that, the sound of cracking comes from this vat, and the vat splits into 3 pieces, splits open on the floor. So you will be right by that vat. How long did Bless last hit?
Bliss was only for a minute.
Okay, so it'll be gone.
So it's gone, yes.
You're standing probably by that vat. How close? Where was everyone else in the room in relation to Alessandros?
Hit would be by the west vat. After he finished checking it, he would be sort of maybe 10 foot away from it.
I would have backed away from it as I was telling them about it.
So you'd probably be, 5-10 feet from Alessandros?
About that.
Right
I'm at
there.
the back.
And I'm probably looking at all the other ingredients that have been on the shelves and whatnot.
And Fiala?
I'm at the back, probably just watching everything.
You're probably still by the door, I would imagine. So as this happens, the vat breaks, and this dark ooze just spills out onto the floor. And as it spills out onto the floor, it rises up into a large form. And we'll roll initiative once again. The green rings there represent the vats that are not broken. The large, giant, oozy type creature there is the ooze that has just come from this vat. I need to go back to there. One second, I will call for your initiative. So, your initiatives, please, Alessandros.
26.
26, what a roll. Hit.
13.
Fialo.
2.
Holy Jesus. Anari.
9.
9. Sadiq.
17.
17. So, Alessandros, you, even though you were taken by surprise and sort of step back as your mage hand dissipates, and this vat just opens up in front of you, and this ooze just stands up to almost twice your height. It's quite surprising how much ooze was in this 7 foot by 4 foot vat. And so you will get first attack.
Yep. Okay. So I do the bonus action to light my sword.
Bonus action, light up your sword. You will not get advantage, however,
No.
and you will not get sneak attack on your first and one only attack this round, because
Yeah.
you are in melee combat straight away.
Yep. So using the flame tongue rapier, and get a 15.
That does hit.
Yay! That is 2 damage. Just 4 damage.
Yep, and your flame.
Is 7.
7. You strike out with your rapier. You thrust forward, the flaming sword shining brightly as you thrust into this sort of jelly-like creature. You find purchase. Definitely takes a bit of damage, but it's like it as your rapier pierces it, the flame almost extinguishes as you pierce it. As you pull it back out, it reignites, but it takes a little bit to reignite it. So, but it doesn't look like it took any damage at all from the flame.
Damn.
So you do have movement left if you wish to move.
I'll do cunning action. Disengage.
Disengage. Because you have not moved, you can disengage up to 30 feet.
Yep.
So which direction and how far would you like to disengage?
With that, to the other pot.
So just to the centre pot?
Yeah.
That'll make you basically 10 feet away from the creature.
All right.
With that, Sadiq, you are up and hit your on board after that.
I'm going to throw Angel's Tear at it.
Okay. Make your attack.
13 to hit.
That hits. Doesn't seem to move doesn't seem to move at all or really quickly. If it does, it's very sort of slow and cumbersome. So your damage
Yeah, it's not undead, is it?
is not undead.
Good. So it's just 4
Your
points of
amulet
damage.
is doing nothing at all.
Okay. It's actually the dagger itself.
Yeah.
26 to hit.
I'm pretty sure that hits.
And 7 points of damage that time.
7 points of piercing damage. And the dagger magically appears back from whence it came as it finds its purchase. That was your first attack. You have a second attack, I believe.
That was both attacks.
Oh, it was both attacks?
Yeah. I did 7 and 4.
So 7 and 4 and 7 damage?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you. Definitely took some damage, and both strikes hit it, no problems. With that, you have movement still, if you wish to move.
I'm going to stay where I am.
No problem. Hit, you're up, and Anari, you're on board after that.
Hit moves into the corner opposite the doorway, 15 feet, please. He draws forth his lute as he moves, and he starts strumming and sings, "Fairies wear boots, and you gotta believe me." And he casts Hits Cool Daylight, his version of Fairy Fire, on the creature. It must make a Dex save.
Dex save. This will be 5 was the save.
It is now the 20-foot square of at its base, lit up in a cool blue daylight. Everyone now has advantage on attacks against that, melee attacks against it. I think it's just melee.
Yes. It might be advantage on all attacks, I think.
Sorry, any attack roll, so
Yeah.
it's advantage on all attacks against that creature.
I'm pretty sure it's on all attacks, yeah.
Correct, all of them. And Kilek will move. I will make him fly to just between the two tanks that are existing, right between the two tanks. He's just going to fly above them. How high is the room, DM?
Probably about 25 feet. It's actually quite a tall room. You've come from sort of 12, 13 feet in the corridor into it's like almost like a temple room again with sort of curved arched ceilings.
Okay, he is going to be as high as he can get with his wings just grazing the roof.
Roger that. So he is there doing that. With that, it is now Anari, your turn.
Inari, before you take your shot, dip one of the arrows in one of the vats.
Not your turn. Shush your face. You're supposed to do that on your turn if you want to say nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to bonus action 3rd level Hail of Thorns.
Okay, so you cast Hail of Thorns on yourself.
Yep. So, and then with Sharpshooter on all 3 attacks.
Alright, so roll with -5 to hit.
So the first one's a nat 20, so that's 25.
Holy shit, woman.
Jeez.
Fucking 3 nat 20s from Anari tonight. So nat 20 on the first shot.
Yep.
Your second shot. Roll all 3.
19 to hit,
That hits. Roll your third.
and 15 to hit.
They all hit.
So the first one gets the Hail of Thorns damage
It
as well,
does.
doesn't it?
It does.
I'll do that first. 'Cause
So
that's
roll
a spell.
just roll all your damage. So roll your
Okay.
3 arrows and then add your Hail of Thorns.
Okay. So my 3 arrows are 20.
Yep. It's plus 10 to all of them, isn't it?
19.
Oh
Yep.
shit, to 39.
39. And 15.
15. Remember, add another arrow damage to your first one because it was a crit strike.
Oh, so
That's
add 8
max.
to that.
So that's 39, 47, and your Hail of Thorns.
And my Hail of Thorns is... Casted at 3rd level. So my Hail of Thorns is 23.
23. Holy shit. So that's what? 70 points of damage in one strike, one attack, or 3 attacks. So with 70 points of damage, and you didn't even use the advantage to hit. You hit with all 3. You guys stand back and just watch as Inari / Legolas, this elven archer, raises her bow and in quick succession, one after the other, 3 expertly shot arrows, right center mass, all in the very much all in the same place, striking this creature, and then a hail of thorns that just descends from the ceiling, and it is peppered with these thorns, and you can hear it sort of as it starts to just wither and die, and then it just dissipates in almost black liquidy, like real sort of viscousy oozy liquid, and starts to seep into the stone beneath your feet. And we are out of initiative.
Damn.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Sometimes you just gotta.
Well done, Inari.
They've really buffed the ranger in 5th edition. Do some
Sharpshooter's a
insane-
killer, man. I'll tell you.
You can do some serious damage.
So that is initiative over, ladies and gentlemen. As as this ooze just slowly dissipates, and at the base of the urn, which is cracked open and split, is half of a golden key, the top half.
Oh.
So the bit that goes in the lock,
No,
That
the other end.
a handle in.
Yeah, the bit
Okay.
that you would turn.
All right,
So-
Ali. Sorry, Sadiq, carry on.
What's the bit that in one of the other vats is the other end?
That's what I was going to say as well.
Yeah.
But I was going to make Ali smash the vat.
But which
Do we
one?
think that they're all gonna try and kill us though?
I don't think so, because one, when you stuck it in, was just goopy, and the other one was acidy, and then this one was alive, right?
First one was stagnant water, from what Heck could tell.
Yeah.
Be
The
careful.
middle one was the acidy one. It didn't seem like it was overly acidic, but it definitely had a reaction on the metal when she put it in.
So looking into the acidy one, can we see anything at the bottom?
Having a closer look now, I mean, Inari didn't really have a good close look when she was doing what she was doing, but now you're actually having a look, and you sort of know what you're kind of looking for. You do see at the bottom of the acidic vat, which looks to be the other half of this golden key.
Use Mage Hand, send it down.
You cast Mage Hand again.
Yep.
The moment it submerges in the water, in this liquid, it dissipates almost instantly. Because I'm pretty sure your Mage Hand only has one hit point. So
Yeah. I got one point.
it unfortunately doesn't make it. Makes it probably about a third the way before it is destroyed.
Could I grab another piece of pole and try and fish it out?
You'd have to try and find something of that length. It's about 4 feet from top to bottom. So you roll investigation to try and find something that would work.
Ali, how tall are you?
Oh, man.
Shorter than you. You go.
Nah, that
23.
I'm sorry, yeah, but even that's cruel. I wouldn't say.
23.
Yep.
So you look around. About 10 minutes, you're looking around. You just can't find anything that's any longer than about 2.5 feet.
Is there any containers that would be able to drain the liquid up until about the 2-foot mark?
There's
if
there's
we-
plenty of mason jars around. I mean, you could certainly try it.
Like fill up the mason jars to do that type deal?
Yeah, you could certainly give it a go.
All right, we'll try that.
It's going to take you a while with just a mason jar, but I mean, if 2 or 3 of you were doing it, you could potentially
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
You would all have to do a couple of skill checks, I think, for this, just so you don't get any of it on yourselves. So I'll get everyone who is attempting to empty this liquid. Firstly, you're going to keep it in the mason jar, or you're going to empty it out somewhere, and
Well,
where
if we've
are
got-
you going to
if-
empty it?
If we've got enough mason jars, I was just going to fill the mason jar to, kind of to the top, put it aside, then fill another one.
Okay, so looking
keep
around,
doing
you've
that.
probably got enough, I would say, to maybe empty it a third. Because there's a lot of liquid in here. So you maybe, but with it, looking around, there's enough sort of empty jars, and a few jars you could probably empty the contents out, that you probably empty the vat by about a third. That'd be about it.
While
It's-
we are doing that, before he completely fills one of the mason jars, could I try adding a little bit of water to that liquid in the jar, just to see what happens? The one
like
from the
that
first
idea.
vat.
Yeah, you can do.
What happens?
Nothing happens. It's
Ah,
just
okay.
it's the water sits on top of the liquid. The greenish the acidic liquid is a lot more viscous, so the water just sits on top.
So it just doesn't do anything at
No-
all to
no
it?
reaction.
Okay,
Doesn't mix.
sweet.
Doesn't
Damn it.
mix or dilute or anything like that.
I was hoping it'd dilute, That's okay.
Viscosities, people.
Viscosity.
Scientists.
The thing that ooze came out of, that's empty, right? That vessel?
That is all split
yeah,
open
it's
and broken.
Oh, it's broken. I was gonna say. Okay.
Nice thought though, but no, that's all split and broken.
But if we get it 2/3 empty,
Actually,
that we can
what
try.
we could do, empty the dirty, murky water one, seeing that's only water, and fill it up with the
No, what I was thinking was we just pour it straight from this one into the other one, because the water's gonna overflow instead of the acid.
Yeah, but what if there's something in it,
In what?
that murky, watery one?
Well, go look in the murky water one, find out if there's anything in there, and then
Okay.
we'll start pouring the acid into that one.
All
Hold
right.
on. Why don't we just split the murky water one open?
Then where are we going to put the acid one?
We just split that open too. Oh, you're right, it's acid, yes.
All right, have a look at the murky water one. What have we got in the bottom of it?
You don't need to roll investigation, but you have a good look around them. You can't really see the bottom or anything, but you can't see anything. It doesn't look like there's anything living in it. It just smells like real foul, stagnant water.
So nothing in it. Okay, let's go.
So start.
So you're gonna
Just
start
like
pouring them
taking
into
it,
the vat of water,
Yeah. Let the water overflow.
and it does just that. I mean, this liquid that you are starting to pour out of, take out of this one vat into the other vat, it displaces the water as it would, as any sort of heavier liquid would. Who is helping, or who is the people bailing the acidic
Yeah,
liquid
me.
out?
Yeah.
So Alessandros,
I'm
Anari.
doing it.
Sadiq, and Anari. So I will need you all to make just a dex check for me, please.
Fiala, you and me should hang back with our healing abilities ready.
Alright.
Just to
This
see
could go
if you
bad.
splash each other or yourselves with this liquid as you're bailing it
How about the entire party?
out. So 14 for you, Anari. You just left the call.
Sorry, I just
Oh, there you go.
turned
So
off-
14 for you.
muted my camera instead of my microphone.
Sadiq, what was yours?
16.
16. And I'm assuming yours is a natural 1 there, Alessandros.
Yeah. I
One
got
natural
3,
one.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah. So with that, Sadiq and Anari, you very carefully and reasonably dexterously dip your jars in and move the 2 feet or
I'm
so,
the best sleep
sort of a few feet over to the water vat and place it over. Alessandros, as you dip your jar in fine and you fill it up a little bit, and as you go to turn and walk to the other vat, you're not really mindful of where your feet are, and this ooze that you have just recently dispatched has sort of oozed out under your feet a little bit, and you slip in such a way that you fall backwards, and you land on the flat of your back as your feet lift out from underneath you. The jar that you were carrying in your hands doesn't break, but it does empty its contents over your face and upper chest. I need you to roll a d6 for me, please.
Crap.
D6.
Yeah, a d6.
Don't forget to roll a 9 on one of those.
We'll go 14.
A 4?
I rolled a 22.
So you will take 4 points of acid damage instantly, and this acidic liquid, as it touches your flesh, starts to burn, and burn quite badly, and it is continuing to burn and will continue to burn every 6 seconds.
Does Hit see this?
Everyone would see this, and Alessandros, you would be screaming in pain as this stuff is tearing the flesh from your face.
Want to grab
So,
a jar of mason water and throw it at him.
You can do. I'll give Hit. You would have seen it first, probably. You're probably closest to her at this point. Manari and Sadiq, I'll give you a reaction very shortly. You probably both had your back turned at this point and emptying your jars.
I take it I'm in too much pain to cast a spell.
Oh yes, this is
Okay.
severe,
Just-
debilitating pain. You cannot see. It is in your eyes. It is on your face. It is down your neck. You are in severe, agonizing pain. And you all would hear it. You'd hear her scream out in pain, because as she hit the floor and tipped this liquid over her face, the scream of agony would have been spine chilling, because it is burning badly.
As a reflex, I cast Lesser Restoration on her, which I touch her and it ends a disease or condition: blind, deaf, and paralyzed or poisoned.
As you cast let the spell go, it doesn't really do anything, because she's not really suffering from anything right now. She has this acidic liquid eating her skin, and it's moving quickly. You can see it eating, literally, it's tearing the flesh from her skin.
Sorry, DM. Hit at the same time as an extra action just uses his breath weapon. I guess for flavor, we can do damage if you like, but he just doesn't.
Well, I'd
it's
say you'd
one
be able to
of-
control the intensity of it.
It's one shot of damage as opposed to dying continuously, right?
Yep.
So, Heavy, I'm going to use my one breath weapon for the day.
Are you going to try and control the intensity of it?
I am going to indeed try and control the intensity of it as best I can.
Roll a d6 for me.
The D6.
Yeah, a d6.
17.
Hit rolled a 1 on the D6.
A 1 on d6. And yeah, your skill, I mean, you're a dragonborn. It's a natural weapon for you. It's something that you've had since early adolescence. You've learned to control it. You've learned to use it well in whatever situation comes up. And you dial it back enough that as you cover Alessandros' face and neck with your breath, the acidic liquid starts to crystallize and freeze. It's also very soothing to you, Alessandros, that cold sort of energy coming from Hit. The pain subsides somewhat. It's still painful, but it's now bearable. And Hit, you also see that it is slowing the flesh burning as well. So what you've done is definitely counteracted with this acidic liquid, and is causing it to slow, not completely stop, but it has slowed its effects somewhat.
Hopefully, Ali, that helps you out. Are you in any pain?
Lots.
That's good.
Looking on the shelves of ingredients, is there anything there that I could throw together to counteract the acid?
Ooh, you're proficient in alchemy, aren't you?
Yes.
You're not going to be able to do much in a short. Well, I suppose with Hit slowing it down, We'll give you a little bit of time to put something together. Roll a alchemy check. Roll your alchemy
nice.
plus a
21.
proficiency. Add double for proficiency, so add your proficiency again.
Okay.
Just for-
so that would be
Just for the fact that you thought of it.
25.
Is it 25?
Yep.
So with that, you sort of quickly rummage around the few shelves that you've sort of seen some of these items. I mean, some of them you recognise, some of them you don't. And you find there's a root of a plant that you recognise. It looks like there's some form of salve there that you could use as a mixing agent. And you find a few bits and pieces that you think put together in the right amounts. And it takes you probably 5 or 10 minutes to mix it. But you're pretty confident that this will be enough to stop the effects of the acid on the skin. It won't repair the skin, but it will definitely stop any further burning.
So after that, I'm going to go apply it to the burn spots.
Okay, so by the time you get to Alessandro's, Hit's breath has definitely stopped the effects of the liquid. It's no longer liquid, it's now solidified. You do have to remove some of those pieces from the skin, which will hurt, and you'll probably have to remove them with a dagger because they still have adhered to the flesh. So you probably will need assistance with that because you are going to have to cut some of that away before applying your salve.
Yep. Someone
Hit will-
hold him down while I do this.
Yes, Hit will aid you there at holding Shim down.
Shoot him down.
Roll a strength check, Hick, to see if you are able to.
Just sit on him, Hit.
I mean, I know, Alessandro, you're not going to want to resist, but it's going to hurt a lot, and you don't have anesthetic, so
No,
you're gonna struggle. So, need to find out sort of.
So you want
You
me to
roll a
strength
dex check. No, you roll a
Dex
dex check, and Hit you roll a strength. So dex versus strength.
Hit gets 18.
Just straight dex. D20 plus your dex modifier.
Yeah, 7.
7. So yeah, the pain is pretty intense, and it's to the point you're almost on the verge of passing out. It is lessened with what Hit has done, and now Sadiq is coming at you with a knife in his hand. And Hit, you get behind him, you get down on your knees, and you put your hands on his shoulders, and you hold down relatively firmly, not enough to do damage, but definitely to stop her from struggling and moving. Sadiq, you approach her with your sharp dagger, and you cut away the solidified acidic liquid. And Alessandro, it hurts. Can I get you to roll a d6 for me again, please?
Yay. 5.
5. This time you take 5 points of slashing damage from the dagger, but you also pass out. You're now out cold.
Kill.
So you feel no more pain. So Sadiq, you take the next sort of 5 or 10 minutes to apply the salve to the areas. Her face is horribly burnt, and some of it's burnt to the bone. She's got exposed cheekbone on the left side, exposed jawbone on the right. Down on the right collarbone is a large piece of exposed bone where this acid has just eaten away flesh, skin, flesh, muscle, right down to the bone, and it's even scarred the bone somewhat. She is not looking good at all.
While Sadiq is doing his thing, I'm going to grab the bag of holding and rummage around for one of the greater healing potions.
Okay.
And
I don't know if
try-
Sadiq put the healing potions in the bag of holding. He put the
Yeah,
coffer.
I
He put the
put
coffer
them.
in there.
There's
I-
currently 3 greater healing potions in that bag.
Okay.
There are?
Oh, there are.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm going to grab one and just gently drip it into his mouth while Sadiq's
Okay.
doing what he's doing.
So that'll be a bought one. I remember, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it will do max amount of healing to you, and it will restore some of the flesh. It will cover the bone, but it will not. You will still be pretty visibly scarred up. I mean, it will there will still be open wounds, but there'll be no bone showing. So the max on a greater is 20 points of healing, I believe. It's 44 plus 4. So you return 20 points of health as Anari gently pours a healing potion down your gullet, trying not to choke you in the process. as you are unconscious or passed out. It's going to take. You're probably going to remain passed out for a little while because it was pretty intense pain. So you guys, Alessandros is still out to it on the floor. The wounds have healed somewhat, but still relatively open. But the bone has the skin, the muscle in it has re-knitted with the healing potion over that bone. But those wounds are still open. They're not bleeding. They are semi sort of healed-ish, but they're still open and pretty horrific.
After we do that, I'm going to look at Head. So do you have anything in your repertoire that can help increase the healing?
I believe I can add to that, yes. I don't know if it's going to do much in the way of skin repair. It's quite a lot of damage. The potion has done a lot already. But I can give another cure wounds on top, or a healing word. Probably a cure wounds would be definitely a bit more help.
You'd know, I mean, with your skill as a healer, you'd know that cure wounds would probably be the better option because it is designed to cure mortal wounds.
It does. Wounds. Yeah, he pulls his lute forth and strums a little ditty, and he says, "'Cause everyone seems to need the cure." And awesome. He does a healing for 7, 8, 9, 10 heals.
10 heals, so another 10 points of healing. Even if you get to max, this is more for your wounds than the actual heal itself.
Yeah, I'm at max.
You're at max. So with the cure wounds, you focus on the most severe of the wounds. With the 10, I would say you're probably not going to be able to heal them all, but you're able to focus on the large open wound above the collarbone and her cheekbone, and the skin starts to slowly knit back over those wounds. The scar still remains. It's not a horrific scar, but it's definitely scarring there. You can see burn scars. The one on the jaw, however, the skin sort of knits over, but it's still very, very, very visible scarring. But for all intents and purposes, the wounds are now relatively healed. Alessandros, when you do come to consciousness, which will probably take about 10 or 15 minutes, but when you do regain consciousness, you are still going to be in a reasonable amount of pain because the wounds, even though they have begun to heal, it's probably going to take a few more days for them to heal completely.
Yeah.
Possibly even a week. They're pretty nasty. So at this point, you are still passed out, but your wounds have knitted to a point where they're no longer life-threatening.
Dr. Het believes she will live.
That's good. Okay. Move Elliot.
Hi, Dr. Het.
Like out of the way and continue carefully.
So as you two continue carefully removing, I'll get you to make one more dex check for this skill series because of the events that have just happened. So 19. Dex for you, 19 for you.
Yep.
Manari. Please let it be another natural one.
That is just not nice. So dex check.
Yes, please.
No, 9.
Nine's still not great. So that you are doubly careful now. Things slow down. You definitely slowed your movements down, being a lot more careful after seeing the potential damage that this liquid could do to your skin. It didn't seem to do a whole lot to the armor. It had some form of reaction on the armor, but not much. But definitely to the skin, it is definitely pretty harsh. But you carry on. Inari, you splash a little bit on your hand as you it doesn't like fully over your hand. It kind of splashes on your finger a little bit, and not enough to cause any serious damage, but it itches almost instantly. The moment it touches your skin, it starts to itch, and you can feel it react.
I'm going to throw my hand in the other vat.
You're already pouring stuff into that vat, by the way.
Oh.
And the water is coming out. The water hasn't done any reaction to it at all, so it probably wouldn't help.
Wait a moment, everyone. Het has an idea. Het has 2 ideas.
Uh-oh.
Share the ideas.
Idea number 1. Allie will live. Watch this, and Het goes into his backpack. He goes over to Allie, and then he spends 30 seconds or so adhesing one of the eyes that looks similar to Ellie's, hopefully, to her face to make it look like it's all coming out of her, so when she wakes up, there's an eye on her. That's one idea. That's idea one on the way. Number two is I have the alchemy jug. I can make what is opposite to I can make vinegar. Vinegar can go into an acid and then react like an alkali, if I remember from my schooling. Is that not correct?
Roll an intelligence check. Well, yeah, it would be intelligence. Roll intelligence.
Well, isn't vinegar actually an acid?
Acid?
And right? You'd need to add a base, not an
Base,
acid.
maybe. That is a.
I want to see the intelligence check to see if he actually knows what. I mean, because I know you can make. There's quite a few things you can make with the jug, isn't there?
Yes. Okay, it's take away one, but so 18 is good.
18 is good. So you would have a knowledge of that, and you'd know that vinegar is definitely not what you want to be pouring in there. What else can the jug produce?
So it does acid, poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, water, fresh water and salt water, and wine.
The mayonnaise.
The mayonnaise
Mayonnaise?
would be a base.
Yeah, I would
But
say
honey as well.
I'd say yeah, mayonnaise or honey. With that roll, I'd say you'd know that probably honey would be your better option to be able to possibly neutralize or at least partially neutralize this acid. How much does the jug make
It can make 1 gallon of honey.
versus what's in there? Yeah, I mean, again, with that intelligence roll, you'd probably know that a gallon
Probably not enough.
would be enough to probably dampen its effects, but not stop it. And you're not sure how much it would dampen the effects either.
Well, we can always add the honey after we've half emptied it to make it easier on whatever we use to get out the last little bit.
That could work.
Yeah.
How good does the eye look on Ellie?
Looks pretty good. I think you've got enough skill to sort of using
Make it
her
make it
blood,
look like
her
your
blood
face
and
melted.
stuff that's still caking her face and everything. Yeah, you could make it look pretty good. Yes, Fiona. You're muted, by the way.
I druid craft some entrails from the eye leading up to her.
Perfect.
Yes.
Now it looks really good.
Can't wait till she wakes up.
It looks hideously good. It's kind of scary how good that looks.
I love you, Ellie.
So
It's
yeah.
a
So with that,
every bit of it.
you guys continue what you're doing, and it's going to take a little while with just the two of you with 2 mason jars. Het, do you produce the jug and fill it with honey?
Yes, Het uses the time to make. Obviously, we can only do so much at a time, so he makes the first batch of honey ready to go for when it is needed.
Okay. So I'd say probably it's going to take about half an hour to 45 minutes to empty enough where you think that the gallon of honey is going to make a significant difference. Maybe about an hour. I'll get you to make one more dex check, you guys, for that for that last part.
Roll, you monkey.
Oh, that face is not good.
Okay.
Nari, what'd you roll?
Oh no, I thought I'd rolled a 1, but it wasn't. It was a 7, so it's 11.
11. And Sadiq?
I got 10.
10. There was a couple of wow moments during that time where you both sort of were about at the same time, and you go to turn and you almost sort of knock into each other and spill shot on each other. A couple of moments where you sort of stagger as you're walking, but you guys managed to get through it relatively unscathed. By the time they sort of get down, it's almost just under a third down now. Probably just over that, probably more like just over half. And Het, you look at it and you go, you're pretty certain that if you introduce the honey now, someone should be able to use a metal rod, as long as they don't submerge their entire arm in there, they should be able to get a hand or something in there to retrieve the key. And as long as they do it quickly. They don't want to be submerged in it too long.
Maybe Hit should do it.
If Het wants to give it a shot, I am not going to stop you, my friend.
Or I can do it either way.
Well, I mean, Hit makes fun of Ellie a lot, but Ellie puts herself in a lot of danger for us. There may be nothing in here, but... Okay, Hit will give it a go.
So you pour the honey in.
Yes, Hit pours the honey in.
How long do you give it before you put your arm in to retrieve the key?
I get one of those metal pieces that Inari was using, and I try to give it a stir up, maybe about 20 seconds, and then I just go in.
You're just gonna just your arm without the pipe, or are you gonna try and get it with a pipe or a something metal first?
It's 4 foot down, right?
By the time
Yeah,
you've probably
about
down to about just over 2
2
feet of liquid left in there.
But I've got to lean over.
You got to lean over it. You got to lean over the edge of the tank, and it's 4 feet deep from the top. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sort of using 2 sticks or whatever with my arms down, dipping my arms in to reach the bottom.
Okay. Roll a dex check for me just to see how quickly you can get your arm in and out again with the key.
Hit is not trying to be quick. He is trying to get it safely and
so
get it out.
safely. So in that case, roll a... roll a Constitution saving throw instead.
Yes. That is a 19.
19. Your thick, scaly hide doesn't seem to react the same way that regular flesh does with this acidic liquid. You don't feel any pain at all, in fact, as you put your hand and arm up to the elbow, up to the armpit. As you,
Elbow deep in the borderline, would you say?
Pretty much. You feel around the bottom and you find the other half of the key. Without too many hassles, you grasp it and you remove your hand and arm from this vat of stinky liquid. And as you pull it out, you look at your arm and you look at the rest of the group and you look at Alessandros and sort of think, oh, okay. And this liquid's dripping from your hand and arm and it's just not reacting at all.
Oh, for Christ's sake, we should have just got you to do it in the first place.
Hit did not realize it would not affect him. Hit was waiting for pain and agony. Hit is happy.
Oh, well. Okay.
So by this time, Alessandros, you would have regained consciousness. You sort of sit up. And as you sit up, you try and open your eyes. Only one of your eyes open. The other one is sort of feels like it's held shut to you. But as you sort of try and look that way, you get a glimpse of an eyeball hanging on your cheek. And you are mortified. It's just like, "Wah!" And you're trying to grab it and trying to push it back in. And as you try and push it back in, it just hurts. Because you're trying to push it back in on top of your actual eyeball, which you're not sure is really there. And Everett, you guys are just... You're looking at this... Hit laughs exactly like that. And with the moment Hit laughs like that, Alessandros, I'll get you to roll a d6 for me to see if you react to that the way that I think you should. You're muted, buddy.
2.
Who? You don't hear it. You don't hear him laugh at all. You're just so obsessed with getting your eyeball back in, and you're trying to force it in, and then you push it so hard that it pops in your fingers, and it just oozes goop all down the inside of your palm and down your face, and you just start crying uncontrollably. You're surprised that there's no pain, but you just assume that's the nerves are all been severed with the acid that had been splashed on your face. You just start sobbing uncontrollably, rocking backwards and forwards, holding what's left of your left eyeball in your hand.
I go over and hug Allie. Go, calm down, hon. Calm down. It's okay.
But my eye's gone.
You can just transform and make a new one. Is that not correct?
No.
You can just grow them back. You're like lizards.
No.
you can. Well, you don't. It was just a joke from Hit. You have mostly been fixed up. Your eye is your eye. That is not
Yeah.
your eye.
I was just gonna go over and poke her in the eye anyway and just say, there it is.
So yeah, with that you sort of reach up and sort of feel around it, and as you do, you scrape it a little bit, and the entrails that were stuck to your face sort of come away, and as it comes away, your vision starts to return. A little bit, it's a bit blurry. Your eyes been sort of stuck shut with some goop, but your vision does return, and you do realise that as indeed it wasn't real. You're still kind of freaked out by it, but you're relieved that you still have your sight.
Mm-hmm.
We take care of you
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we love you.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's there. It really is. Look. Poking her in the face.
Slaps hand away.
And you could do so quite quickly too, I'd imagine.
But truth be told, Allie, we all work together to try and fix you. I don't think there's a mirror around here, but generally you look much better than you did when you had acid burning your face skin off. There was a lot of bone, was there not, Fiela?
Yeah.
And you
Sure,
still
cracked a
still
little
feel the
hair.
effects of it. Like you still feel pain in the spots where it did burn through, but it's like not that intense pain that you felt when it first splashed on your face. It's more of a dull sort of ache, almost like a dull toothache, and just above your collarbone, on the right jaw and the left cheek. Not debilitating pain, but just it's enough that you know that it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, chicks dig scars anyway, so don't worry about it.
You're still beautiful.
And with that, you now have 2 parts of a key.
Oh.
Do they fit together?
Alessandro's has the first part, and Hit has the second
Well,
part.
that first part would have fallen to the ground, seeing I passed out.
Depending on where you put it, did you have it in your hand? You would have had it in your pocket or something because you were trying to carry a mason jar. I wouldn't assume that you still would have had it in your hands.
True. So put out the half.
So, do you hand it over to Hit?
Yep.
So as you sort of take a hit and you sort of hang on.
Yep.
Where you go?
I do sleight of hand and hand him a replica, which I use prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation is a vocal spell, I believe.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, it's vocal and somatic, so you'd have to make a hand gesture and speak a phrase to get it to actually work, and Hit would know it. I would imagine. So.
Yeah, never mind.
Nice try though. And if it didn't have a vocal part to it, I probably would have allowed it because you'd be able to use sleight of hand for that for sure. But it has a vocal component, unfortunately. So with that, you hand Hit the second part of the key. Hit, you hold them up, and the one from your right hand jumps out of your hand and just attaches to the one from your left hand.
Whoa, Allie.
And
hierarchies combined.
So they join together and form a one solid key.
Damn it, I thought you were going to say Captain Planet.
Captain Key, I mean.
It's a master key.
But you now have a solid golden key.
Okay, I have a solid golden key. Sadiq, do you want to hold it?
No, yeah, you're quite capable of holding a golden key.
Hit would rather not hold the key. Ellie, would you like the golden key?
I'm keeping away from those bloody things.
Okie dokie, anyone else?
I'll put it in my pocket.
And Ari, you have...
You can be the key bearer.
Key master.
You are the key master.
I have the key.
I must find the gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper. Yep. The good old gatekeeper. The key master.
Hit hands the key to Inari. He wants nothing to do with it.
So, Inari, you take the key and do you place it in your pocket, in your backpack?
I'll place it in my pocket.
Actually, you don't have a backpack, so you can't place it in your
No,
backpack.
I don't place it in my backpack. 'Cause I don't
Oh
have
crap!
one
I
yet.
forgot. You have nothing.
I'll put it in my pocket.
Oh, you got common clothes? I'd say you do. I'll allow you have pockets. I wouldn't be. I
I'll
won't be.
shove
I
it
won't
down
be.
my bra,
I won't
one
be
of the
that.
two.
No. We don't have a bra.
Rock
You
it.
were completely naked. You were given common clothes, nothing more.
Alright, then in my pocket.
So yeah. So with that, you are all. You now have a key. You're out of initiative, and you are standing in a large room with goop and water all over the floor.
No doors.
There's not another door in this room, but there is a corridor to the eastern wall, the far eastern corner, opposite to the door you came in. A small corridor that leads and turns to the south.
Shall we?
You first.
Yeah.
I give up.
I mean, I can try and check for traps, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
someone's gotta-
Anyone can do it. So roll investigation as you reach head through the corridor and you get to the turn and you see a staircase descending downwards. So I'll get you to investigate from the breach of the corridor to the corner.
11.
11? Yeah, you have a look around. You don't really... With your background, you've got a relative knowledge of mechanical traps, but you don't seem to find any. You think it's all pretty clear.
Okay. I think it's safe, guys.
Well,
Well, go
that's
on,
the
walk into
exact
it.
same thing Ellie used to say. Too.
I keep going.
So you just head down the stairs?
Yep.
So you
Still
guys
chicken.
you guys descend the stairs. You won't need to check anything from there. You
Okay.
pretty much
Damn
covers
it,
that
can
whole
I
area.
please? Because I just rolled another one because I could.
No.
Damn.
You descend the stairs, and as you get to the bottom of the stairs, the corridor then turns back to the west again. And before you, as you step forward and around the corner, a 10-foot deep, empty pit completely fills the passageway. Extends so far as to make jumping across impossible for most creatures. It is quite, it's probably 20 to 30 feet across.
Not seeing anything in the walls.
Not really, no.
How,
You go.
how deep is this pit, did we say?
I was about to say.
It looks like it's probably about the same as the other pitfalls, about 30 feet or so deep.
Has it
Nice.
got anything in it?
Not that you can see.
Okay, I might get one of them to lower me down.
What's the other side look like?
From what you can tell, it's more passageway. I said it's a good probably 30 feet from one side to the other.
Enough
It's 10
maybe
foot wide.
for a spider or an eagle to go across, and maybe.
I mean, an eagle could definitely fly across. I mean, depending if you're going to be a giant eagle, probably not, because it's the corridor is only 10 foot wide, and about 12 or 14 foot tall.
I was thinking, guys, maybe I could do spider and make a rope across or a bridge or something.
Oh, brilliant idea.
That's a good
Um,
idea.
I want to check the walls.
Or what specifically?
Doors, levers.
Roll investigation.
Yeah. 12.
Looking around the walls, either side, at either side of the start of this pit, the walls look like the same as the other walls in the corridors. You could potentially try and climb across. There's probably footholds in that there, but they're not overly pronounced.
I'm just going by the poem. 2 pits along the way will be found to lead to a virtuous 4. So check the wall. That's why I did that.
Ah,
Very cool.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, but what does it refer to when it says check the wall? It could be saying check the wall in the pit itself. So,
I like
Do you
Creator's
want-
idea to turn into a spider and make a rope. That seems very sensible.
make a rope bridge. a spider silk rope bridge. And while that's happening, we can lower Murray down the hole
I'll go.
to see if
Okay.
there's anything down there.
So,
So how far across is it?
about 30 feet.
So I'll go down and go across. I'll walk across if I can.
Before you do anything dangerous, Inari, Hit can just reappear 30 feet down the hole without having to climb a rope.
Oh, okay.
Or you could use the flying imp.
Or we could, yes, use Skellig.
I was
Yeah.
thinking more of climbing the wall on the other side if I could and getting up that way.
Good point. The rope spider is probably the best bet for the rest of us, but yeah. Okay, drop a rope down the hole if you want.
So what are we doing, guys?
I'm gonna wild shape into a spider and start.
Which spider are you wild shaping into? The giant wolf spider or just a regular size spider?
Considered large. Is that gonna fit or
Oh, large spiders. Yeah. So which one is just the large spider?
the giant
Giant
spider?
wolf. Okay,
Yeah.
so giant wolf spider. So you'd be able to fit in the corridor easily enough. You'd have to probably get the rest of the team. You probably have to let it past. Although as a spider, you can crawl up on the walls and walk along the wall.
There you go. And start slinging web, and getting the bridge made. Hopefully.
Roll. What can I get you to roll for this? Roll a d20 for me.
Yeah. 15.
It's going to take you some time, but you're a spider. You're able to spin silk, and you know that you need to spin something that's going to take the weight of Het. You're intelligent enough as a druid to know that you're going to need it. It's going to need to be relatively thick, and it's going to take some time. So you're probably going to take about 30 or 40 minutes to create this bridge, if not longer, because you know it needs to be able to support Het at the very least.
All right.
Or at the max, because he's probably the heaviest of the group.
Well, as Het said, he can Misty Step down and then Misty Step back up on the other side. So,
That's
Correct.
true too.
or he can Misty Step straight across.
He wouldn't be able to quite get all the way across because the gap itself is 30 feet. He'd definitely be able to
yes.
he'd be able to reach the end, and possibly if it's a cantrip, he'd be able to use it to go back up. Depending
It is
on
not a cantrip.
not a
Well,
cantrip.
I'm-
Okay.
I'm going to go take a leap of faith, and with that, do the shadow step.
Would you like to know how bright it is in this corridor first?
I suppose I shouldn't I? It's bright, isn't it?
No, it's not actually. It's not bright, but there are patches of dim light which you would definitely be able to shadow step. How long is
Yeah.
your shadow step?
30.
30 feet. So you'd be in the same boat as Het.
That's why I was going to go run, jump.
Okay,
Just
so roll a dex check for me. Firstly, actually, how far can you jump naturally? 5 feet. So you'd probably be able to jump 10 feet comfortably naturally. So yeah, I'd allow you to do that.
21.
Yeah, I'd even without dex check, I'd allow you to jump out and then shadow step, and you'd comfortably land on the other side without too many hassles at all. You only have to jump out 5 feet to make the 30-foot gap. So.
And the fact that I got the ring, that's part of the reason I did it.
Yeah. So Alessandros is now on the opposite side. The Fiala spider is spinning furiously, knitting a bridge across as she slowly makes her way across the thing, making it, and the bridge is going to be against the wall because she's sort of moving across the wall, so it's going to be attached to the wall as she goes.
Did you want Hit to check the innards of the pit, Inari?
Yeah, I know.
You're
You
muted.
can do if you want.
There you go.
Okie dokie. Hit uses Misty Step to just come in on the edge of the closest side of the pit.
The closest to you or the other end?
And closest to me, because it's 30 foot down, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's as far as he's going to go. Straight to the bottom of the pit
Okay,
there, just
so
to see.
straight to the bottom of the pit, and It's the bottom of the pit's just covered in a thick layer of dust. Doesn't seem to be anything. There's a few bones in that lying around, a few skeletons, but looks like they've been here for a long time.
It's covered in a thick layer of dust. There are bones and skeletons. Could been here for a while, I'd say.
Are you able to get back out again?
Oh, I didn't think that far ahead.
How long before you can recast?
Oh no, I can do it again. I was kidding.
Does the other end of the pit look like it's climbable?
Hit will walk cautiously
You probably
along,
can't really see it.
investigating.
It's a bit dark from that end. So you're going to just walk along towards the end?
Yes, Hit has
You can see
Extreme-
it. You can
extreme
see it
mutant
in
vision.
the dark, yeah.
Yes.
So as you're walking along, it doesn't seem to be anything down here apart from what you said. Like I say, a layer of dust and dirt. Old skeletons sort of some of them are partially covered by dust and dirt. Others sort of sitting on top. You get about halfway down. Doesn't seem to be. It just seems to be a great big hole in the ground. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. Do you proceed further?
no Hit goes back to the beginning, and then Misty steps back up with
Okay.
Anari and Sadiq.
Done. So by this time you're probably looking at about 25 minutes in. So Fiona's probably about halfway across now, and the bridge is not wide. It's only about 4 feet wide, but it's looking pretty sturdy. She's doing a pretty good job. So what are you guys going to do for the next 25 to 30 minutes as she waits, as she continues her work?
Relax and watch.
So you're not going to go back down and investigate the pit further, Onari?
Well, I kind of. Oh, yeah, actually, no, I will. I'm going to jump down. Well, ask to be lowered down, and I'm going to see if there's anything I can climb on the other side.
You're going to go all the way to the other end and see if you can climb it?
Yep.
You walk down to where you got dark vision, right?
Yes. Up to
So
9
everything's
feet.
in sort of muted greys for you because it's not bright. There's a few dim lights around and stuff. A few torches that are sort of half pipe burning, not really burning much. You get 2/3 of the way down and it's everything's pretty good. You get to that last sort of 5 feet towards the edge and start to look up and look around, trying to find sort of footholds or handholds. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me. Actually, no, you don't. I need to roll to hit. I rolled. Sorry, you feel beneath your feet a large stone move. It drops about an inch under your feet. The moment it drops, you guys that are sort of watching it from up top, Alessandra, you as well, you notice from behind her large spikes, 3 feet high, just start rocketing out of the ground and just like a big wave moving toward her very, very quickly. No one's going to be able to react in time to save her at this point. It is very, very quick, almost instantaneous. So I rolled a 29 to hit. So they do hit you. And you will take 22 points of piercing damage as 2 of these spikes pierce, not fully pierce like into you and impale you, but they literally come up your back and literally pierce the skin and almost tear out the skin as they eject and then retract almost as quickly as they came out. And they retract back as quickly as they came out.
Wouldn't want to come down here.
It seems Hit is bad luck. Hit seems to do something, go away, and then someone gets smoked. Sorry.
Not your fault.
So, just before we finish up, what are you doing now, Nari? Are you staying there? You gonna move or what?
I need to try and get out of the pit, so I'm going to try and keep climbing.
You gonna try and climb?
Yep.
You step forward to try and find a foothold and try to climb out. And this time, from where you're standing, another jet of spikes. That is a 26 to hit this time.
Ooh.
You take another 22 points of piercing damage. This time you are impaled, one through the foot, the other through the just under the flap of the bicep, as it shoots out underneath you and waves back the other way, and then dissipates once more, and pulls itself out. And
So I'm just going to bleed everywhere and stay where I am.
you are
Can
now.
I s-
Yes,
ahead.
I'll give you one reaction, then we're going to call it, guys. So, Fiala, as a spider, you would. I don't know that you probably would have heard it and maybe looked. You're still really busy spinning a web at this point, so bear that in mind with what you want to try and do.
I was gonna try and sticky her and pull her up if I could, but
I'll allow it. I will allow that because you're spinning web and you're stuck to the wall. You're a big spider. I'll give you a chance to shoot. Roll to hit. Remember what is your armor at the moment, Nari? It's quite low, isn't it? Because you only
Only
have
14.
clothes. No, you'd be lower than that.
No, 14.
What's your dexterity?
8.
No, it should be lower than that.
Hang
You
on.
don't have armor.
You don't have any armor on.
I've just got my armor class is 14.
Oh, there's 2. Holy shit.
Yeah, my dexterity
Oh,
is
dexterity
19.
is 19. That's what I asked.
Yeah.
Not 4.
Oh,
Not 8. It's 19. That's why
oh,
it's so
19.
high. I was going to say, holy shit. Yeah, so what was your roll to hit?
I rolled a 19.
So you definitely hit with your web. You fire out a long strand of web, not unlike Spider-Man at this point. Shoots out from your butt instead of your hands, and it attaches to Anari's back because she's got her back to you. I will need you to. You're going to start to retract it and pull her off the floor.
Yeah.
I'll need you to make a strength check using the spider's stats, however, which is not going to be good. The spider stats are not great. But I will give it to you at advantage because of the web
Okay.
strength.
Right, it's 15 and plus 2, that's 17.
Nice. Well done. With that, you are able to hoist her free, pulling back on the web with your hind legs as you sort of bring her back up. She does hit the wall, and you will take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the wall, as you sort of yoinked off your feet and slammed into the wall, but then you're slowly sort of dragged up the wall. And that is where we'll call tonight's show, guys. We will pick up there again next Sunday night. Moody, what's up, brother? Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us tonight. That is the end of our show. I'm going to end the music there. I'm also going to turn off this doofer. Crap, I was supposed to say that, not turn it off. But thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. I really appreciate you stopping
Turn it
by.
back on. Turn it back on.
We will call our show there for the evening. We are going to raid, so we're going to see who's online. I'm not sure who's actually online. I know Lost Chapters haven't been doing a whole lot recently.
I did a stream last night.
Oh, they streamed last night, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know they're not doing the Curse of Strahd show at the moment. Benny Boy, what's up? Scourge is on. Should we find another D&D channel?
Friendly here are playing Dungeons and Dragons by the looks of it.
That's the other Kiwis, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? See, we'll have a look at the Dungeons and Dragons. See who's out, who else is playing. Saved by the Spells on a rerun. How many of those guys got in? They got 16 viewers. They don't really need help. Dice Cream Sandwich. Okay, that's interesting. That's a rerun. Skinks and Pits. Don't have any cams. Not many people are running cams. This one, D&D Friday Misadventures, 2 viewers. That's a rerun. God, everyone's running reruns. What the hell? No one's live anymore.
Crappy nights.
Yeah.
All probably killed up.
Well, true, especially for Aussies. You have a pretty shitty weather at the moment.
Crappy night's the best time to play D&D.
Well, exactly. Everyone should be playing D&D at this point. I'll tell you what, we're gonna go raid Sleazy Steve. He is a Rainbow Six player, an Aussie. Formerly left Mixer about the same time I did.
Deal.
He left Mixer about the same time I did. Cool dude. He's supported me over the last couple of years. Well, he hangs out from time to time, but he's been pretty busy of late. But we're definitely going to go check him out and host him. I've just got to dock my chat here. Can we get a mods? Can we get a shout out for Moody Gamer, who's in the chat, and Magic the Gamer as well, if they're still here?
I see everybody else doing it, so I'm just going to sit here and watch.
But as I say, we're going to be back next Sunday night with some more Dur and Durs.
Benny Boy. What about Benny Boy?
I don't think did Benny. Do you still stream, dude? Yes, you do. Yeah, get a shout out for Benny Boy as well. But yeah, so I'm glad you enjoyed the story. If you want to catch up on the whole story, if you're only coming in sort of part way through, !YT in the chat will give you the YouTube link, and that'll give you all the previous VODs. So from episode 1 right through to current episode, I think episode 41 was the last one we uploaded. This episode will be uploaded tomorrow night, so it should be available by Tuesday morning to view. So if you have missed it or missed part of it, you want to check it out, you can find it on the YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. And come and join us next week when we carry on with the Tomb of Horrors, which will be part 4. So it'll be the 4th session inside the tomb. We've had some pretty horrific injuries happen, especially tonight with poor Alessandros, and now Inari being impaled.
Again.
Quick thinking from the Fiala spider to retrieve her from danger. But with that, we will say adieu, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.